Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. So tonight we have with us Jenny Holiday, our own Jenny Morgan, Junie the Apostate.
Yay.
Hello.
Godless Sewing.
Hello, hello.
And Doc Fearson was here a moment ago. Nope. And we have Randy the Harmonica Man.
Hey.
And in the side chat so far, I just see B. B, you could certainly pop in here with us. There we go. Doc Fearson's back.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, there we are. Hi, Doc.
My phone's having fun tonight.
Does it have a life of
So
its
I
own?
actually did find this one online. I didn't make this up, but today is actually officially Make Your Own Holiday Day.
Oh, cool.
So if there's a holiday you think should exist that doesn't yet, you're supposed to make up your own today.
Okay, so I would like to start. Dancing like no one is watching
You're
day.
right.
Dancing like no one is watching day.
Oh,
That's beautiful, man.
Appreciate your local sex worker day.
We got a day hooker named Gladys with a hole in her throat from smoking.
Oh my gosh. How about checking the mail in Nothing But Boxers Day?
Hey, I like that one.
Yeah, in my apartment, that would be a violation.
That's just
So
neighbors.
a long time ago. This was a long time ago. My ex-wife and wow, this was a long time ago. My ex-wife and I, when we liked each other, we were hanging out on the couch. You know, the kid was sleeping. We were doing what adults do. And for some reason, I had, it's California, so I had the screen door open because it was a beautiful day. And the UPS guy made the mistake of not backing down from the door. He kept on ringing the doorbell and be like, no, I need to get a signature for this package. And I kept on telling him, just leave it. He was like, no. I walked up butt naked, Jamaican style. Just, can I help you? They have not. That was 13 years ago. They have not knocked on my door in 13 years. I bet there is a note. I bet there's a note like, no, this guy's a nudist. So it's been a while since he's lived here. So it's 13 years.
What'd you say? I brought my own pen.
I like that native atheist. Oh no, you know what? The guy was so like, oh my gosh. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. He was like, it was like I was I was on fire or something. Like he just could not look at me. He couldn't even make eye contact.
If I were him, I would have looked right at your junk, if for no other reason than to make you say, hey, eyes up here.
Yeah. Oh, that was a great one.
I saw a meme today where there's a naked man and then there's a woman standing right next to him and she's looking down and the little bubble says, so that's what the assault weapons are for, huh?
What were you going to say, Jenny?
That's nice.
I was just wondering if that UPS story was part of Sex Worker Day.
No, but we can combine them. Tip a UPS driver day. We'll code it. We'll call it tip a UPS driver day.
When I was living
go.
that I lived in for 20 some years, that's what I did to the Jehovah's the first time they came up to the door. I answered it completely. In fact, I had to take off my clothes to answer the door because I saw it was Jehovah's.
You're just like, ah, damn it.
They never bothered me again.
I'm gonna try that because they are so deep here. Like I see them on the camera. They park at the end of the block. They have their little meeting and they walk around my neighborhood. They have numbers here. I'm gonna try that.
You know what's funny about
popped
that?
in.
I have
Nothing.
a sign right there next to my door that says no solicitors, and I had Jehovah's Witness come up there and of course she's like, well, here, this is for you. And I'm like, no. See that right there? No solicitors. And she's like, well, we didn't think that was for us, and I'm like, come on, you know, it's
Mhm.
especially for you. That
Well,
why
they
the
claim it
hell
doesn't
is
apply
your
to them
man
because they're not
sitting?
selling anything.
Then
Yeah,
put up
why is your man sitting in the car anyways and making you come up here to the damn door anyways? Do they have no balls? And she's, oh, I'm out
Yeah.
of here. She's,
Yes.
and I'm like, good.
Then put up a new sign that says no goddamn motherfucking Jehovah's welcome. Get out.
I had a sign on my door. It was 2 revolvers, and it said around here we don't call 911. But Isaiah broke it.
Telltale
What I should
atheist.
do is put a sign up. I should put a sign up that says, God wants you to do my dishes.
Telltale sells signs that say apostates live here.
I
Because
just
the
ordered
one thing
mine.
they won't deal with is an apostate.
I just ordered mine actually. I can't wait to have it.
That's
Although
awesome.
I live in a back unit, so I don't think they'll be knocking on my door anytime soon. But hey,
Put it up for that one day that the Jehovah's figure out that you live back there.
Yeah, well,
yeah, right.
when I was a pagan, one year for Yule, I put up a 5-foot lighted pentacle on the side of the house, and the Jehovah's Witnesses never knocked on our door again. So I guess those really do ward off evil.
Yeah. That's good.
Best idea I heard for Jehovah's Witnesses is you get you a bunch of their pamphlets, right? Then you draw a human-shaped chalk line on the sidewalk leading up to your door and throw them damn pamphlets down on the chalk line.
Damn right. That's actually. I should write all these down. I need to write all these ideas. Go to the door naked. Chalk line.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was I heard the story from, but he was saying that his grandpa had a mastiff, you know, these huge dogs, and the dog was gentle as anything, but he wouldn't let anyone else come on the property, you know, without him approving him. And apparently, while he was out, a Jehovah's Witness came up and decided that it was okay for them to unlatch the gate and come in. And the guy came back to find the dog sitting on the sky, and apparently he had been there about 4 hours.
My gosh.
Hey, that's real. When I was a kid, my parents had a dog. It was a timber wolf, timber shepherd. That dog was 180 pounds, 190 pounds.
Mhm.
That dog did whatever it wanted to. It was a
It's a
beast.
big chunk of dog.
Oh, it was a bee. I remember when I was a kid, that thing.
Oh
When I was
yeah.
a little kid, it was big enough for me to ride. Like that's how giant the dog was.
Yeah, shepherds are big enough as it is, but you mix a wolf with it, something about the two speed, and wolves get up to about 200 pounds as it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you mix the two of them together, and they're just a little bit bigger. They get up to like 220 and shit. And you know, I know a lot of people around me who have a lot of wolf dogs.
How
and
many?
They're just monstrous.
Oh yeah, there.
I have a strict rule about not having any carnivorous animals that outweigh me on the property.
I probably
In case
told
that
you.
day
Yeah,
does come.
yeah.
I probably told you the Mike Tyson story where Mike Tyson told a story. They asked him, they're like, are you ever going to own any more exotic pets? And he looked with fear and he said, nope. He almost got beat up by a jaguar, but he's Mike Tyson, so he punched it and ran. But he said his jaguar was going to kill him. And he said the only reason he survived is because he's Mike Tyson. That's the only reason, because he hit it and ran as fast as he could to the end of the cage and locked it, and the thing was trying to kill him. So I will never own anything that outweighs me and can eat me, and to where no one can find me, you know, where Carol Baskin's like, I don't know what happened to him. I have no idea. His car's over there. Nope. I will never
Not
own a
only
tiger.
that, but some of them critters are so damn fast you can't even see their paws moving at you. I mean, they just
See,
you're
nope.
dead.
Or a monkey. You know, Bubbles is still alive. Michael Jackson's monkey is still alive. Monkeys live for a long time.
Really?
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Saying that Michael
remember that-
You ever
Jackson
see a gibbon?
kill them?
I remember the story about that woman who owned a chimpanzee,
Oh, I do.
came over and the
Oh,
thing
hey, oh.
went crazy and ripped her face off.
That's what. Don't. Yeah, it ate her face. No, it ate her face. Don't own a monkey. That's why we shouldn't own our cousins like that. Because they're stronger than us too. They're way stronger than us.
Yeah,
Even a chimp.
and they're nowhere near as sexy.
Even a chimp could lift like 800 pounds or something, couldn't they?
No,
I saw something. I saw something recently that gave the strength
maybe
of
5
primates.
Well, I can't do 5.
Average gorilla is only 500.
Oh, they're saying they can lift like over 1,000 pounds.
Oh, lift. Oh, I thought
Gorillas. Yeah, lift. Oh, not weigh. Yeah, no, they don't
pound
weigh
for
that
pound,
much.
the
But
gorilla
yeah, they
is the
can.
strongest animal on the planet, muscular-wise.
Before I completely became anti-zoo, I would take Isaiah like every month and a half. I loved the zoo. And it was just a great place to take the kid. And we would go and watch the chimpanzees. They have this whole thing at the LA Zoo. It's like stadium sitting where you can watch the chimpanzees. And it's like, it's a social experiment. Because you see the alpha, you see there one day one of the chimpanzees had babies. The mama chimpanzee told all the other chimpanzees to F off, and she was standing there and not even the alpha was going near her, but I'm anti-zoo now. I won't go to a zoo. I probably will never go to a zoo again. If my son asks me, I'll take him, but I'm not a zoo person. How about free all the animals in a zoo day?
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Free the imprisoned critters.
And that's
unfortunately, it's a matter of you can't get them back to their normal habitat, and they wouldn't survive well in this city.
You're so right, because we would
Especially
go to
with all the gun people.
You're right. Especially like we used to go. The gorilla cage was actually depressing because they just kind of sit there. They're like, I'm a gorilla, and they're just sitting there, and it's like that was actually really depressing to see the gorillas just chilling.
Once I started thinking about it, I found
just
zoos
the
in
expression
general
on the
really
face are
depressing.
miserable.
Yeah.
What's that, Perp?
You know what?
Once I started thinking about it, I found zoos. Go ahead, Randy.
Go ahead, Purple.
No, it's okay. Randy has a delay. Let's have patience.
I was gonna say you guys should watch Just for Laughs Gags, and they got one skit there that one guy's dressed up like a gorilla, and it has a magic marker and a little easel and everything, and it writes help. And when the when the caretaker walks away, turns the damn thing towards the audience out there, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, the gorilla's asking for help." It's just one of those things that you got to see. That Just for Laughs Gags. It's one of the funniest damn shows I've ever seen. It's a French Canadian thing.
Well, we just had we just had Atheist Day. I'm trying to stay on top.
Let's have another one.
Right. Every day can be the Atheist Day.
It was so good the last time.
I don't believe in two holidays for the same thing.
Well, out here, like Pride Day turned into Pride Month, which turned into like Pride 2 months, because people say, "Oh, Pride Month's coming. Let's do this and this," and like the party starts and it doesn't end until the day of Pride. It's like gay Christmas.
Well, what do you expect? They're gay. It's what we do.
Because I remember when it was just, I remember back in the day, it was like, okay, we had the parade.
Yeah.
Like in LA, they'd have the parade, and then at night it was just a jamming party. A huge, amazing party. And then it turned into Pride Month. And down in West Hollywood, they party for the whole month. They have turned it into an event. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, it's morphed.
All right, I have my holiday.
Okay.
I think there should be a fresh roll of toilet paper appreciation day.
Okay.
That's very good.
Last year.
That has to be after the day after chili cheese fries appreciation day.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like your holiday, Jenny. I like.
No, we'll make it the first Wednesday of the month, so it's right after Taco Tuesday.
Nice.
Okay, see if we're making
I don't
holidays.
think it would fit for
Did you know that
my
the
thing, but
expression
Blues Man Day,
they actually
you know, or
trademarked?
Blues Holiday or something. Oh,
Taco
I'm sorry,
Tuesday
go
is
ahead.
trademarked?
Yeah.
By
No.
who?
Taco John's owns it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. So if I made a stream, if I made like a Taco Tuesday stream, they could do a copyright strike on me or what?
I don't.
Taco John
No, it's not-
sucks.
It's trademark, not copyright.
Okay.
So that's
That
different.
makes sense.
They could still come after you for using it for whatever.
Because we have a place called Del Taco here, and they have Taco Tuesday. Taco Bell has Taco Tuesday. Even my local Mexican restaurant has Taco Tuesday.
Well, then Taco John's will lose their trademark. Because one of the requirements of having a trademark is that you defend its use by others. And then if you're not actively doing that, then it eventually becomes public domain.
You know what, though? They very much could be owned by the same subsidiary because America's funny that way, you know? Because I worked for Carl's Jr. all throughout through the beginning of my 20s. And they sent me to the East Coast to help open stores, and it was a Hardee's, but it's the same company. I was getting the same paycheck. The only difference was the name on the shirt, you know? So
your name or the store name?
Well, it depended on what city they sent me to. I would mess with people. Like Boston was not as friendly as I thought it would be. There are certain cities where that were not the nicest place, but Portland, Oregon was awesome. Reno, Nevada, that is a degenerate's paradise. If you ever feel like living somewhere where everybody's just as seedy as you are, Reno, Nevada is your place. I had fun, and they have a really reliable bus service. One of the most reliable bus services I've ever seen in my life.
So should I avoid it or should I go to it?
Well, you know what? They want to get you in their casinos. So they'll have their main strip, but then they have mega casinos out in the middle of nowhere, and their buses will take you there for free.
Nice. So
Reno's it's one of those towns. Keep your wallet in your front pocket.
The question is, how much do they charge you to take you back again?
Yeah, it's one of the only places I've seen where the buses are free, depending on on a certain strip, because it's basically where all the casinos are. Not even Las Vegas is like that. They'll have certain services for certain casinos, but
yeah, I'm actually doing an experiment, and
you can spend your money.
Yeah,
I did try to make up my own holiday for next week. That this started just because of a flippant remark I made on Twitter that April 2nd should be World Apology Day for the people who play stupid pranks to try and get their friends to speak to them again. So always right after April Fool's Day. And I decided to run with this. So all the sites that I go to look up holidays, like a half dozen of them, I submitted this telling them that there was a holiday they had missed, and I'm going to see if any of them start listing it. Two of them emailed me back asking if I had any details on its origin.
Oh, that's awesome. You might have created something. I'm going to laugh 10 years from now when they're celebrating World Apology Day.
I thought that was going to be for tonight's stream, but
I wondered why that was there, because I was gonna come on stream and just apologize in general for anything that I'm gonna do in the future.
Yeah,
how about that?
Well, see, I've done shit like this before with my family. There are bits that are enshrined in family lore that everyone will insist are real, that I know are bullshit because they're stories I made up. But people have been telling the stories for over 20 years now, and everybody insists they really happened.
Oh, my family's the same way. They tell some tall tales. Paul Bunny would be proud of them.
My family is stupid.
There's a day. International. We know you don't like your family day.
There is.
Oh,
I'd not heard of that.
Me and you know what? I don't get along with a lot of people in my family. Me and my sister absolutely hate each other. We cannot be in the same room. So, and I know I'm not the only person where they have that sibling that we don't, they don't like each other.
See, in my family, there isn't really any animosity as such, but they just won't acknowledge most of the things that I've told them about me. They just like to take the attitude of, if we don't talk about it, it never really happened.
Yeah, my family just knows about me what their preacher said. What's wrong with me? That's what they think they know about me. Apparently, it's every meme that you ever thought of. It's why I'm not a believer.
Like versus actually speaking to you to know you. They ask somebody else to know you.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, you grow up around these people, they know you your entire life, and all of a sudden, my preacher said that this is what this is all about. And it's like, are you kidding me? I done told you 20 times. Now you're listening to dipshit over here who's never met me trying to tell you who I am, and you're going to believe that asshole because, it's going to be true one way or another because it's your cult. Give me a damn break.
And they get forgiveness from those same people too, without involving the victim at all. It's very convenient.
I was outed over 21 years ago, and there's people in this town that still won't talk to me because I'm not straight. There's people who still will not speak to me, which is, I don't care. I could care less.
Yeah.
Makes my life easier. Tell you the honest truth. You want to shun me? Please shun me. But shun me by not talking.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it's more family members and people that are from the Mormon neighborhood I grew up in. That I like. There's someone that I grew up with. We were friends. He moved to Utah, and when Jen announced on Facebook that we were together, I was shocked that he was still around. And he sent me a message on Facebook, and he's like, "I thought they were just rumors," and then he blocked me.
What the hell?
You can't fight. You can't fight people like that. And I've known this man my entire life.
Yeah, just gotta let him go.
And I'm not mad about it. There was another friend who just moved back from Seattle, and he did the exact same thing. When Jen, he would come over every Saturday. We would sing glory days. We'd relive the past like total has-beens, and he stopped coming around. It is what it is.
Huh.
I don't. But I grew up in a semi-conservative area. All my LA friends, they could care less. They give me a hug when they see me or a high five. Like no one cares. But in a conservative area,
now do you strut around like Foghorn Leghorn and go? I say, go away, boy! You bother me.
No. You know what? Most people, in a conservative town, people mind their own business in a weird way. They'll side eye you, But the town demographics has changed too, so I don't see a lot of people that I used to.
People who behave that way, I just don't get it. My entire family did that to me. All my aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, when I came out, they just stopped talking to me ever. And I haven't seen or talked to almost all of them in 40 plus years now. That they just, like, I didn't exist.
Jenny, you're probably like me, aren't you? When you got to get a procedure done, you got to pay somebody to give you a ride home or something just so you can stand up and walk in the door.
Huh?
It's because your family won't support you when you're like going to get a procedure or something at the clinic, or and you're high
That-
as fuck and can't stand up. I just had to pay somebody yesterday $30 just to bring me home
That's
Yeah.
me.
Wow.
because
did
none
have
of
to pay
Jeez.
for
you know.
people to take me home. It cost $40 to get home from the hospital.
Do you know it's like I'm kind of the same way. I call my ex-wife's husband because he's reliable. He's a good guy, and he'll give me a ride home if I really needed it. You know.
If
But
I
that's
was
what
still
happened.
living at home in Milwaukee, my brothers and sister-in-laws would come and get me, and that it was just my family outside of my immediate family and parents that shunned me.
Well, I don't know if there's a like speaking of like getting to the hospital, you can get transported to the hospital via ambulance or I don't know. I think they have like these transportation buses to get to you to the hospital through insurance and stuff. But to get back home, it's a different story.
Yeah. And also out here, an ambulance
Yeah.
ride will cost you a couple thousand, depending on how
At
far.
least $3,000 if you're
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Half the
me, it's
stuff
like
I gotta
900.
get done is they have to have somebody there to depend on to take care of you, because I get knocked out, like minor surgery kind of shit here and there. So I got to get somebody who's actually responsible to take care of me. And
When I
don't have anyone, so I got to pay someone to do it.
when I had my hips replaced, I was on state insurance, and because I had no one here, they kept me in the hospital for 2 extra weeks to rehab me, so that they knew when they send me home I could at least get to the bathroom and stuff myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me, like my mom got knee surgery, and like my dad, his strength was kind of waning, and they made sure that she had someone else around that could help. Excuse me. Because when you get major surgery like that, you need someone else around.
Yeah, I would like to have at least one of my knees, and I can't because they said you just cannot get around without somebody helping every day.
Yeah.
All day.
Because you're just because you're laid up.
Yeah.
Like that chair that I sit in my background, that's a massage chair, but it's my mom's old chair from when she had knee surgeries because it stands you up completely.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to have one.
It stands you up
One of those.
completely. Oh yeah, that's why when she's like, "I'm getting rid of it," I said, "Oh, let me help you. I'll get rid of it. Let me help you."
Well, after my hernia surgery,
That's the one that you use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After
You're
my
pissed
hernia
off at your
surgery, I was
kids and you do
literally
this. Oh,
You know, I smile so much that my kid knows that when I'm not smiling, I mean business. He knows if I'm not giggling, then I've reached that point.
You're gonna say something, Purple? Oh,
Purple.
sorry, I wasn't getting to talk, so I took a bite, had a mouthful.
no
Oh,
worries.
cool.
Smart.
No, but after my hernia surgery, I was like that for the first 2 weeks, I literally had to crawl 25 feet to the bathroom. I just couldn't stand up to walk that far.
That was me after my car accident and my pride, because the doctor was like, "You should stay here," and I'm like, "No, I'll be fine." I came home the next day. I opened my eyes and I legitimately thought, "How am I going to get out of bed?"
Yeah.
My entire body was I like basically rolled on the floor.
But see, that's the sort of thing why Sloth Girl and I had to arrange apartments in the same building. That we can't actually live together. We drive each other nuts. But we got to be close enough to check up on each other, and when something like that happens.
So true.
Great arrangement.
I do that with
I
my
can respect
grandmother.
that.
I do that with my mom too. I go over there and check on her all the time. I need to learn to knock on her house too, because I have a house key. I walk right in.
Yeah. Although for me, a big reason that I have such trouble asking for help is because my family will always help. But if they help me with one little thing, you can damn well bet they will bring it up at every opportunity for the next 5 years and guilt me into all sorts of other shit with it. I got programmed to not ask anyone for help.
Oh, do you remember when
My
we did
family's
this for
just
you?
way too busy. Yeah, my
Purple,
family's life is too hard in general. They're not doing shit. So it's like, okay, you lazy fuckers, I'll drop everything to come and help you if it was needed. But as soon as I got something going on, nope. It's raining. I can't get out of the house. My ass is stuck to the couch.
Purple, you just described half of my family when you were with your description right there. That's what one of the last fights I got into with somebody in my family, they brought up something from 25 years ago. And then I was considered rude because I was like, I'm not going to talk about something that happened 25 years ago. Go stuff yourself.
My family puts the fun in dysfunctional.
If I didn't burn your car down or put a giant X with my motorcycle on your front lawn 25 years ago, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I was gonna say, was that what you did?
No, like it's one of those things. They're just they're petty as hell, and any petty people, you know what it is? It's narcissists. So narcissists will constantly put you on the shame cycle to make you look terrible and make them look, like they're just the shining example of humanity.
Oh, we got plenty of those.
Yeah, to deflect
the family.
Exactly. And also, there's a certain half of my family that came from privilege, and they don't know shit from Shinola, as the saying goes. So there's something to be said of having to work for what you have.
All right. Now, wait a minute. You just said an expression that I've thought about. How many people in chat have no clue what Shinola means?
I grew up around old. My pops was 43 when I was born. I grew up around people that were way older than me.
Well, give some context, because there's a young person here.
Okay, so you don't know what the word means, do you?
No.
Shinola was a shoe polish, a wax type shoe polish that was brown.
I always thought it was a place, like a country or a city somewhere.
It was a brand of brown shoe polish.
Shit, I was walking in the woods last week and I found a hole out there and I'm like, hey, is that my ass?
No. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of stuff that I consider it that's why I always say, oh, I'm old. It's just I'm sad that certain things aren't expressed anymore or used, like shit from Shinola, or just certain sayings or certain things are forgotten, and it just makes me sad.
When it comes to me, it's just I'm either uncultured or I'm just a dumb millennial.
No, you know what? It's not even uncultured. Like my pops, he taught me a blues style called Gut Bucket. It's literally passed down from a bunch of old black guys, picking and grinning on their guitars, and it's just certain songs and certain things and it's just a whole way of life that doesn't exist anymore.
It's not your fault in this case.
I know you
used to be obsessed with polished shoes, okay? And sometime in the 60s and 70s, polishing your shoes just kind of went by the wayside. And it's just not something that's talked about or advertised. There are still shoe polishes on the market and stuff, but I haven't seen a shoe polish advertisement on TV for decades.
I don't know if you can see it.
I
have a kit.
You wouldn't know a word like Shinola because it's just not familiar to you at all. It's just
Very few people wear shiny shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's gone the way of repairing anything in our society that, you don't buff your shoes anymore. If they get scuffed, you throw them out and buy a new pair.
I still shine my boots. I still use this thing to shine my boots.
Me too.
It's old. It's old and ratty. But I still use this thing.
Well, if you get actual leather shoes, you've got to take care of them.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing. Like these boots I'm wearing right now, I've had for like 8 years. I just take care of them.
And I think that's really the biggest thing, that in the 70s, everything started getting made of synthetic materials. So, when people didn't have leather shoes when they were synthetic, they didn't bother shining them.
The standard used to be that if you had a leather shoe, and it wasn't, we're not talking patent leather here, which is like a mirror finish leather, that if you had just a standard leather shoe, that it should be able to reflect your face. It should be that shiny to be able to reflect your face.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
So I used to polish my military boots.
Yeah, no, when I had
all the
actual
time
leather
by some of
boots,
the
I'd polish them.
There's Brown. I still shine my boots.
Yeah. What one of the best things is to get is ostrich shoe polish. It's a little bit better than the kiwi so far as the black color. It's a little bit softer, and put neutral
it's not
wax over top of it.
I have conditioner, all this this fancy stuff. Basically the Boot Barn by my house, they love me because I'm the only person of color that walks in there. So every time I buy a pair of boots or anything, they give me like a $60 shine kit for free. And I don't have the heart to tell them I have 2 that I haven't even opened yet. And every time I ask somebody, I'm like, hey, did they hook you up like that? They're like, no, they don't hook me up like that. So they really want my business. So I have a bunch of conditioners and all kinds of cool stuff. And it works. A lot of that stuff works, But like my work boots are different than like these boots right here. My old Vegas boots, I haven't worn those in a year. So they've just been sitting here collecting dust because I used to wear them.
Did the quality of your shoe wear have a special place in your family?
What do you mean? Like, do I wear fancy shoes because?
No, not necessarily fancy. Just that whatever they are, they're in excellent condition and well taken care of, and that you give them a lot of respect. That quality shoe is a lot of respect.
Even when I was a little kid, I told my dad I wanted a pair of Jordans, and he told me I had to prove to him that I could take care of them. So it's always been something that it's been taught my whole life. Like, if you have something, take care of it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I still let me see if I'll knock down a bunch of stuff. But like I still all my shoes, I have them in tubs. And I've had shoes for like 10 years, 11 years. Like I don't mess around, but it's because I don't wear them that much. Like my work boots, I get a new pair every year.
And it's tax deductible.
Yes. On taxes, I claim a lot of stuff. Don't tell anybody. But technically, I'm a reverend. I'm kidding. I am kidding. I wish I had.
Well, I'm going to have to say goodnight, everyone. Happy shoe shine.
Okay, good night, Randy.
All right.
Dang. All right,
Good
Randy.
night,
hanging out with you, man.
everyone.
I was about to say, okay, Randy and Will, since we're talking about shine here, I think you know where I'm going with this.
It's also my lighting. It's a weird angle. It washes me out. But yeah, I was always taught to take care of the stuff you have.
My head gets pretty shiny when I shave it too. I actually did shave it recently, finally, but
Awesome.
I've got some growth. I got to do some more shaving. But I've had people at work be like, "You wax your head or something?" And I'm like, "No, man. All I do is shave it." And I just tell them it's just my natural glow, baby.
That's what I say. Imagine, I forgot how sweaty people are with hair. I like not having hair. Like
I used to have really long hair,
okay.
but maybe around 10 years ago I started shaving it, so I become a Mr. Clean aficionado, and and I love it. I've always been a very hot-blooded person, and I was a completely vain idiot who wanted to look like Dave Mustaine and kept the hair long for a long time. And I don't know. I just when I finally decided to get rid of it, it was just so much of a hassle. And I'm kind of on this path to purge vanity from myself because I've seen all the harm it does in my life, and especially to me. So I'm trying to divorce myself from it. And it was just so liberating. There's, I don't have to comb it. I don't have to wash it. I don't have to worry about what it looks. I don't have to worry about it being out of place. I don't have to worry about losing it because I definitely have the male pattern baldness. I'm all bare on top, no matter how long I grow it. So,
me too. I
don't have to worry about that shit when I just shave it all off.
And when you take a shower, it's all business.
Right.
Yep. Yep. I don't have to use shampoo. I just soap the entire thing. So.
Yep.
and the best part is I can offer to do haircuts to people, and it is so fun. I just lean my head in and I go, "You need a haircut? I can help you out. I'm very thorough." And boy, do they squirm. Oh my God, people squirm so bad at the notion of losing their hair. It's so fun.
I will die with long hair. I will never ever cut it short. It will never be any shorter than it is right now. Never.
I started balding at 17.
Oh.
So
it was
older brother.
It was probably around 15 for me. I noticed I was thinning by the time I was a sophomore in high school. So I knew it was coming. I've known all this time, and it was a fairly slow progression, but I was prepared for it years ago. It didn't bother me at all.
I wish they would find a cure for male pattern baldness. I mean, I've known many men. There's nothing wrong with being bald, but I've known so many men who just really were heartbroken that they went bald. They won't admit it because it's not very macho to admit something like that. But in private talks and stuff like that, it was real clear that they were very, very upset with it.
Yeah, it is for men probably the thing about their appearance that winds up being the most devastating to them, that it changes as they get older.
Yeah.
If you guys have not seen the recent Hair Club for Men commercial, it is amazing. So they get they get someone of my complexion. I'm not gonna guess what they are or who they are, but they kind of look like me, and it looked like a fake fro. It looked like a helmet fro, but they claim that you can grow your hair back. And my dumb ass sat there, and of course I was smoking, but I watched a 45-minute infomercial that was supposed to be a commercial on YouTube. So they were targeting it towards me. But I don't think it's real. To me, it's woo-woo. To me, Hair Club for Men is woo-woo. I don't believe it. It's a little too hand-wavy.
One of the things that they do have within their umbrella is hair transplants, and those are legitimate. Those actually
okay. Because this guy had a full head. He had a new fro, and part of me was like, Ooh, I bet I would freak people out if I showed up with a full fro. Disappeared for a month and came back with a full head of hair.
Well, at our next Halloween party, we'll find one from like a party city and just like throw one on.
I'll tell you, I can't hang with wigs because of my eyebrows. I look crazy. Like, I don't know what it is. So even like when we're having fun or something, I'll put a wig on and I'm like, oh, I look awful.
Oh, we can fix that.
Do you know that
kerosene on a match, those eyebrows come right off.
Oh, I've gotten a lot of threats from people that are like, if I ever see you, I'm going to sit on you and pluck the hell out of your eyebrows. There's been quite a few women that have been like, if I ever see you, I'm going to tie you down. And I always think it's something sexual, but it's always like, your eyebrows drive me insane.
So like at malls, like you see those threaders, do they like come up to you and say like, can we offer you a session?
No, but I got suckered one time by this really beautiful woman who was like, hey, come here. And like an idiot, I'm like, okay. And I walk over to her and she had this like dead skin remover. And she put this stuff on my arm and it worked. And it was amazing. But I didn't have $120 a bottle. I didn't have the money, But
I'm jealous of your eyebrows. I like them. I'm seriously jealous. Mine are like really thin and sparse, well, body hair in general on me is very sparse. I have next to no arm hair and almost no leg hair at all. But I mean, like, eyebrows are practical. They help keep dust out of your eyes, and even as small as mine are, it's saved a whole lot of sweat from just going right into my eyeballs. So like, true. I mean, if you can spare some of that brow, I'd be happy to take some out off your hands.
If I let it go do you know, I had one little piece here and I shaved it off in junior high, not realizing that I was signing a contract that I'm going to have to be shaving that for the rest of my life. So if I let it go,
just let it grow back.
No, no. Because it's not even even. It's just one little patch here that's slowly been going out over the years,
You don't want to be a monobrow, huh?
Oh, body hair is so weird. I finally reached that age where it stopped growing on my head and it's coming out of my nose and my ears. Like I almost feel like you should get a plaque. I feel like you should get a plaque. Like, hey, you finally made it. You finally made it.
Yeah, it's called the second puberty.
I am so glad that I have avoided all of that. It's so wonderful.
And one of the reasons I shave everything is because I'm salt and pepper, and it's starting to become more salt.
No, well, that I haven't avoided.
It's the white hair. I had about a year ago, I grew like a chin beard, and I had a crisis because I was like, oh, I can't hide the white hairs. And I don't believe in like coloring my beard or anything.
The only time I've had my head shaved off was I don't know if anybody's familiar with St. Baldrick's Day.
No.
I've heard of it. I have no idea who he is, though.
They made reference to it in Blackadder. That's the only thing I remember of it.
So it's real.
Yeah, well, in March, I think they do like a charity drive for like people to shave their heads off for kids with with cancer. And so a lot of us, I think this was back when I was in junior year.
I'm sorry, kid, you're going to have to die from cancer. I'm not shaving my head for you.
Oh my god!
Fortunately, hair does not cure cancer.
Right.
I don't know
what they did with the hair, to be honest.
Okay, so like, unfortunately, places like Locks of Love and certain places, you give them their hair, and then they charge cancer patients.
Locks of Love is horrible. I don't know how it gets away with still being called a charity.
My
They're
Wow.
the worst.
my niece, grandniece, Lily, when she was just turning 6 years old, she voluntarily one day just surprised her mom and said, "Mom, I want to cut off my hair and give it to Locks of Love."
That's awesome.
Isn't that just amazing? And so
That's a sweetie.
She got her hair cut into this, lovely little pixie bob cut, and she gave her because her hair was got all the way down her back almost, and gave it all to them, and it was just like, wow, how would a 5-6-year-old come up with this on their own? I mean, they don't own a TV, so it's not like they were bombarded with this stuff or something like that. How does a kid find out about that and then want to do it? Wow, what a special kid she is.
I was selfish up until 26, so I couldn't. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Now the family, we've all found out about Locks of Love and what they do, and now she won't do it again. But
yeah, well, I found out about Locks of Love when my ex convinced me to cut my hair short, and I was going to donate it. And fortunately, we found there were some other charities that did the same thing with much better results.
And they do it. They give it to. They make sure the patients get it for free. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Because imagine
donating it.
You know what though? Having a child with ASD, people target you because they know you're going to spend money for a certain thing. So they target you because they know that you're kind of stuck in a certain situation, So no matter who you are, what you are, there's some ghoul out there that will target you. It's kind of sad. It's kind of like what we were saying earlier about Autism Speaks. They're a front organization, and those people are millionaires.
Really?
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
what do they do?
So they hold charities and they have major events. I don't want to give away Kitty's entire stream because we're going to talk about this on the stream. But Autism Speaks probably has 20, 25 employees, and they're a multi-million-dollar corporation. And they're just basically raking in the dough from all these charities. They're looking for a cure, which doesn't exist. Their language stigmatizes people with autism. So they do more harm than help. And they're the name. It's kind of like the Susan G. Komen Foundation. They're just the name, In
the entire time of their existence, they had one member on the board who actually had autism, and they got rid of him in less than a year.
Wow.
They're awful. I'm saying this from a standpoint of I've gone to 2 walks. People in my family have gone with other people in my ex-wife's family and my son on these walks where there's hundreds of thousands of people who donate money to this organization. And when we found out what they were, we were heartbroken. We were like, you guys ripped us off. Like, we were like, you guys, like, we're legitimately the cause and you guys ripped us off, So I have beef with Autism Speaks, and one of their main offices is up here.
They continue to endorse a doctor who has used electroshock therapy to try and cure autism.
They're the worst.
Well, as naive as I am, I'm sure I've donated some money through a drive-through. So
I have too.
It happens, yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of these things that the organizations look good if you don't really get into investigating them. During Katrina,
there were people walking around with buckets, and I would throw $5 bills in all of them. One night when I lived in LA, I'm sitting there. When I lived in MacArthur Park in that crummy neighborhood, I'm sitting there, and on the news, they're like 90% of these people are just pocketing the money.
When
they had this giant
MacArthur Park. Did you ever leave the cake out in the rain?
No.
No. Don't you know that that's why with the Salvation Army, why the buckets have lids and locks now?
Yeah.
Because, they were finding that the people standing there collecting, were taking handfuls and stuffing it in their pockets.
Yeah, So it made me not cold towards donating, but makes me think twice. So I am more likely to donate to something like Autism Speaks because it's on TV. It seems accredited, you know, and it's not.
Yeah, I stopped donating because of, especially in big businesses that like to use it for tax exceptions.
Rebecca Watson went off about this, and it's true. Here in California, the grocery stores will ask you, like, hey, can we keep your change? Can we round this up for a charity that our thing is going to pay for? They're making more millions. And Rebecca Watson did this investigation. They're not donating any money to anybody, at least the s05e10 Corporation here on the West Coast. And so you got to really watch these people because they're literally nickeling and diming us. We're all below the poverty line, and these companies, oh, can I have your change? Can I have your change? And they're making more money off of us. It's crazy.
It's criminal.
I feel very comfortable giving to is the Ronald McDonald House Charities.
Yep.
That one is good.
We've talked about this. Like here in LA, there are giant plaques in front of those buildings that are like, hey, these are Ronald McDonald houses. Don't you ever forget that. They're all over the place here. They are all over the place.
Yeah, and those actually do help the families of the children who have to be hospitalized.
Yep.
And we have a major children's hospital here where people come from around the world, and the Ronald McDonald houses are literally behind the hospital.
Yeah.
So they do a great charity for people.
The ones in Rochester, Minnesota are mixed right in with the Mayo Clinic's campus.
Exactly. So I totally respect Ronald. I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Because I'm so cynical because I feel like a lot of these companies rip people off. But, because I've seen the Ronald McDonald houses with my own two eyes, I think they're a great charity.
My own personal policy is that if I go to McDonald's and I buy something at the drive-thru, that whatever the coinage change I receive it goes into the bucket.
See, but that's different because they're actually going to somebody's hand. Like they're actually helping somebody. Like I was disappointed when I saw that investigation and I found out that it was helping CEOs make even more millions of dollars.
Well, the reason I do it that way is McDonald's will let you round up, okay, and so that you make your donation that way. But I want the guy behind me to see that somebody actually gives money to the Ronald McDonald's house. Maybe that person will pay it forward after they see it. You see it happen in front of them,
You mean like versus card payment?
Yeah. That maybe the stimulus of them actually seeing it occur. We'll say,
hey, Sarah.
I can do that too.
Hey, Sarah, they're always filled here. Now that you said that, because my son is obsessed with McDonald's. I'm trying to wean him off. During the pandemic, it's not easy. But like those, they have them right on the drive-thru. They have them on the window. They're like, they're cemented in.
Yep.
They're full. They're always full. So that's one charity that I hope that keeps going. See, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm so down on charities lately. I'm so like down on the world and everything that's going on. I've lost the
yeah, I am too on most of them, but that's also why when there's somebody in our community, somebody that we know, that I'd much rather just donate to somebody's GoFundMe, of knowing that it's going to a specific person for a specific cause.
So true.
Indirectly.
So true. But even certain sites, don't they take like 30%?
True. Like PayPal, I guess.
It depends on the site.
No, PayPal
GoFundMe is good. They only take like 5%.
Okay.
PayPal takes like 30 cents, 30-cent transaction fee plus 3% maximum. But sometimes, especially if the charity things are set up right, PayPal may not even take a transaction fee at all.
PayPal does not take transaction fees at all for certain transactions like money from family member to family member, that sort of thing. Certain charities, they don't.
Yeah, and if you have a PayPal account, you can send money to a friend without any fee.
if you've ever been
okay.
in business and you're a merchant and you take credit cards and stuff like that, the credit card company charges the merchants to do that. They
Yep.
charge the service fee
Yep.
of anywhere from 1.25. Well, my day was 1.25 up to 3% per transaction, up to a certain amount, and then it's but they're providing a service. They're doing something that I benefit from as a merchant. Of course, they should be paid for it.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about PayPal. They're providing a service.
Mhm.
They're a credit card company.
Yeah, well, that's why, for a modest fee like 3%, yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Well, I think 3% is actually kind of high. I think they should be like 1.5. It should be max.
Oh,
So
Jen switched my
I
stop
mean,
cam.
if they're making 1.5 out every fucking transaction they do, that's billions a day.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Um,
I might not even have my thing set up right, because whenever I wanted to send money to, like, say for example my mom or even my landlord, they would take away, like, I don't know, like a certain amount every time I wanted to make a payment just for either rent or just for whatever.
Well, check around your account and
Yeah.
the stuff. You should be able to find a way to get that to be zero for a relative to relative exchange.
Nice. Thanks. No.
I think I got the 30% from like super chats or something. I might be confusing it with something I heard.
Yeah, YouTube takes 30% on super chats.
Oh, okay, that's what I heard. Because I always hear,
Oh.
I excessively watch YouTube, so I hear people bitching about everything.
And that's criminal for YouTube to take that much. That is just,
especially people who live off of YouTube that are barely above the poverty line.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you realize that when you become a YouTuber, you're not there to make money and expand your franchise. You are the product. It's YouTube making money off of you. That's the whole deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Adam Conover had put it very clearly that if a website is free, you're the product.
Yeah.
So true.
Because the only way they can make it free is either if they're constantly throwing advertising at you, and likely both, that they're selling your information to advertisers.
I just take it for granted now.
Yeah. Back in the 80s, I worked for a company that printed like the catalogs for Fingerhut and things like that. And we had 3 mainframe computers running 24 hours a day, doing nothing but sorting mailing lists and printing labels.
Oh, wow.
And this was actually why I wound up getting out of the computer operations and going back to doing home repairs. Was I worked third shift alone a lot, which gave me way too much time to think. And I came to the realization that if that entire plant had shut down, the only effect would be that 3 million people would stop getting junk mail. It's hard to have much job satisfaction when you realize that many people would thank you for not showing up for work.
If you propositioned those people, they'd probably pay you to not go to work.
There is a guy in Minnesota who says he's gone out of his way to get his name on every mailing list possible. And he claims that he 75% of his heat he manages through burning the junk mail.
Oh,
Hey, that's smart.
that's not a bad idea.
Not at all, because during the election, we got so, like, at my job, one of the women that work in the office was like, "Hey, if you have any like, mailers or anything, bring them in because we don't want to waste." And I was like, "What are you doing?" She made palm trees out of them because there were so many mailers. And I mean, she made like 5 or 6 palm trees, full, like 5 or 6 foot palm trees. So you can do all kinds of fun crafts with the mailers.
I had a friend who was, when personal computers first came out and stuff, they started this little company where they were just managing computers and data and stuff for friends and family who didn't understand computers and really couldn't manage their own backups and stuff like that. Her and her husband ended up expanding the company, and to the point where it's today one of the biggest data collection companies in the state of Wisconsin, and they're fucking millionaires. They're just making it hand over fist. It's amazing. I'm real happy for them. They did good. They worked hard. But geez,
I know someone that created Trump singles, and I think he's a complete racist degenerate. And I've watched him go from somebody who used to wave it to me at the grocery store who can't even look in my own direction now. And
Trump singles? What's
you should look. It's a dating site.
Oh.
I don't even know if it's still around. I don't know if it's still around, but he was on Fox News, and that idea started at a bar in my town, and these idiots made millions off of it. He was on Fox News and everything.
There's lots of specialty dating sites like that. I was on one I recently gave up called Our Time. It's just for people over 50, 55.
There is a site,
but there's one that you see circulated around out here. It's called farmers.net.
Ooh,
for people who are into
I've seen ads for that one.
Same.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
There should be stuff like that.
There's also one called agnostic.com, which is all for agnostics and atheists.
See, I gave up on internet dating a long time ago because I've never found anyone that was serious.
Yeah, the problem with Our Time, the one I was on, I couldn't even get people to respond. Just from the basic hello. I'd like interested in having a conversation. They wouldn't even write back and say no.
No, same on certain sites too. And then we were talking about this the other day. Like, if you put your picture up, they're just judging you based on your picture. Hey, doorknob head. Oh yeah.
So
that I still to this day I shake my head, and I watched this particular person become radicalized because they went from just another Joe Schmo in my town to having to play the role of a Trumper. And like his wife will still like wave and say hi, but he will I saw him 2 weeks ago. And I'm gonna tell you, in my town, I'm a black guy that wears a cowboy hat. You know who I am, even if I have a mask on. I stick out around here, and it's sad because he just he didn't say a word.
Not only are you a black guy with a cowboy hat, but you got that Old Town Road thing, don't you?
So there was two things that I still joke about with. First was I get a phone call at 7:00 in the morning one time, and I was on the weekend, and my ex-wife was like, "This mother effer stole your style." And I was like, "What?" And she started sending me pictures of Lil Nas X. And in a way, he did. but you know what? He's famous. Like at this point, I've stole his style now, because he got famous for it. But I've been rocking cowboy hats and patches for years and years. And then the other one, for months, my ex-wife and her husband were telling me, "You need to watch Tiger King. You need to watch it." And I'm like, "Nope, looks dumb." I finally broke down and watched it, and I think I called them after like the 4th or 5th episode and thanked them. I fell in love with the Tiger King. I want to be the Tiger King when I grow up.
Now, see, that's the difference. I never intend to grow up.
Exactly.
What's the Tiger King?
The Tiger King was a openly gay man who lived in Oklahoma, owned tigers. He was a complete mess, and I don't want to give it away.
Wasn't that the lion guy?
Yeah. He had 2 husbands. He owned a zoo. It was just a great story. The Tiger King got ratted on. He was a complete asshole, but like he had money and everybody wanted his stuff, so they all told on him in the end. So I feel sorry for the Tiger King. Like, he just wanted to be gay and live in Oklahoma. He just wanted to live his life and own tigers. I have a soft spot. If I lived out in the woods, I wouldn't be as eccentric and I wouldn't own tigers, but I would do crazy stuff like that. I would shoot thermite. I'd own a see, but I'm anti AR-15, so I just own a big old elephant rifle.
But it's different when you live out in the middle of nowhere. It's not the same.
I'm one shot, one kill though, so I like old Wild West rifles. But I'm just saying.
9-shot Winchester, you know.
That's true. A Ruger. That is true. I do. Anyways, my whole point is Tiger King was lit. Tiger King was amazing. And that's I would be wearing the same outfits as Tiger King if I had money.
So you're glad you broke down and watched it. I haven't watched it myself, so if anybody would make references to it, I wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I never watched it either, so.
It's just crazy ass eccentric people. I don't think that there's a such thing as normal. There's no such thing as normal. And the Tiger King, who knew that there was an extremely gay guy who lived in the middle of Oklahoma? I now know.
Well, I've heard about him, but until you mentioned it, I didn't know he was gay.
Oh, see, I don't want to give it away. The Tiger King was
I didn't know it was real. I thought it was just like a movie.
No, I knew it had been a series on some cable station for however long. Yeah.
On Netflix. He's just a mess. He's just a complete mess. And it is, you know what? He's that train wreck you can't look away from, And there's some lessons to learn from the Tiger King too. There's a lot of lessons to learn. He ran his mouth and he got the repercussions of his own actions. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to. The Tiger King, that whole show is amazing.
Yeah, I'm never gonna watch it.
He is an unrepentant animal abuser, but he got what was coming to him, Andrew. So but I agree. He was a complete, and they all are. I think, like I said earlier, we should get rid of all zoos. I think we should get rid of all zoos, but we can't, put these animals back into the wild.
Yeah. Yeah. My uncle, who is no longer with us anymore, but he used to would get a lot of these exotic animals like alligators, sharks, and whatnot. Where he got them, I don't know.
What do you do with the shark?
I don't know.
It have a giant
shark. So it's I want to say maybe a foot and a half when he got it. So anyways.
That's still huge. That's still absolutely huge.
A couple of years ago, the St. Paul police found a 12-foot alligator in a warehouse in St. Paul, and to this day, no one knows how it got there.
I knew a guy back home in Milwaukee. He was actually at one point he was one of the most talented veterinarians anywhere. He would help pioneer joint replacement, hip joint replacement in dogs, and he kind of went off a bit, and he ended up getting his home raided, and he had 5 or 6 10 to 15 foot alligators and crocodiles and
what
and a whole bunch of other very dangerous venomous snakes, and it was just, hey, Terry, what are you doing?
when I was a kid, I don't think it was illegal back then, but my neighbor had a boa constrictor, and it was 6 feet long, 7 feet long. Mm-hmm. And one day he comes knocking on the door, and he's like, "Hey, I need to talk to your mom." He lost his snake. Needless to say, we found it in the backyard, but if we hadn't known it was a house pet, it would have been the scariest thing on planet Earth. To go in your backyard and see a freaking 7-foot snake. I knew it was there, so when I walked back there, I expected to see it, and I did.
Yeah, it's not every day you see one in the backyard.
Yeah, but if you had walked back there and you weren't expecting it,
I knew someone that owned illegal Argentine boa. They were huge. They were unreal huge, and he would feed them rabbits. It was one of my neighbors, and I would hear him scream to the point where I told him, like, "You gotta move, bro. I own you, rent. You gotta move." This was it wasn't this house. It was a long time ago, but like, I'm just not that person. I can't own a pet that eats something that screams. No, thank you.
yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh,
If I lived in the country, I like bunny rabbits. Yeah, you can quote me on that. I like rabbits, and they bite too.
Rabbits are so stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just one of these animals whose brain has got to be no bigger than a pea.
Oh, but they're fun. I had one as a
They're
kid.
lovely.
It was the
they're
greatest.
cute and they're warm and fuzzy and all that. And I like them too, but they're so stupid.
Oh yeah, they're
I was at the airport back home and just sitting there hanging out watching jets take off and land. And you know, it's an airport. It's just this big gigantic field, and so there's rabbits and stuff that live there. And this rabbit was sitting next to this asphalt road, you know, one of the access roads, service roads for the airport vehicles. And there was where I was sitting, there was this gate that the whatever vehicle would have to come up to. The guy would have to get out of the van or whatever, go open the gate, get back in, drive across, and then get back out and close it. And so this guy was going through that whole procedure. And so when he goes across and he gets out to relock the gate, there was this rabbit sitting about halfway between the front and rear wheels, no more than 6 inches from the drop line of the side of the vehicle. And he does his thing and he gets back into the van and starts to move away. The rabbit panics, turns around and goes right under the rear wheel.
oh my gosh.
How stupid can you be? The noise that you're afraid of is that direction. Why are you going that direction?
Because bunnies are dumb.
Because you're
It's
dumb.
like squirrels, I swear.
The definition of a rabbit is chronic anxiety in a soft shell.
So, Junie, you just brought up a really good point. We have those squirrels that love to dodge into traffic and do that weird like juke move where they go back and forth. It is not rare to see a flattened squirrel around here.
Yeah, go
They
90% of the way to your destination, and then when you see a car, go back.
I don't get
but
it.
I'm going to bet you only see flattened gray squirrels. You
I
don't see flattened black ones, do you?
We have
That's
brown
true.
ones here.
That is
We
true.
have
Okay.
they're gray and brown.
This is something I've observed. I think we're seeing evolution in action. You know, and just like there was an experiment with domesticating foxes that they could see a direct correlation between the coat color and the temperament.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
And I think the same thing's happening in squirrels. I think the squirrels that hold on to the old evolutionary thing of, you know, trying to zigzag back and forth and darting in random directions, well, cars don't care about that and they get flattened by the cars. The black squirrels don't do that. The black squirrels just run straight across the street at full speed.
True.
And I don't see any black squirrels as roadkill. I only see the brown and gray ones.
Excellent point.
So, can I ask you a question? Where you guys live, are squirrels scared of people? Because the squirrels here are not scared of people, and we have to warn children.
Oh, no. No, in general.
sorta.
What was that, Jane?
I kind of sorta. They're wary of people, but if they get to know you as an individual and they seem to be able to recognize faces, that they'll start chumming up to you, especially if you've given them some food. They'll recognize who you are.
Yeah,
Come
I
back
think because
and stuff. Yeah.
because people feed them here, they are fearless. But they'll bite. City squirrels are evil.
Oh yeah,
They'll-
they'll be taking food out of your hand and then suddenly bite you for no reason.
Oh yeah, or they'll take they'll come up on a table and grab a burger or try to take the wrapper or something. Like city squirrels are no joke. They are no joke. I've always wondered.
Last year I kept count, and I counted in my usual orbit of places I go, a total of 47 dead raccoons on the roads.
It's a start.
Which sounds like a huge number, but they're everywhere.
They have no natural predators here, so they are the most evil, disgusting things. They have no predators here. They eat people's cats. Yep. Don't leave your chihuahua outside.
I've been telling people that people think raccoons are cute. No, raccoons ate one of my cats.
No,
they are not cute. No. They are vicious things.
They're the most vicious pieces of So I had a dog, Cleophas.
That's why, Guardians of the Galaxy, to me, that is pure nightmare fuel. Something with the human intelligence and the ethics of a raccoon. Yeah.
My whole life growing up, we always had guard dogs. And I got a dog in high school that lived 17 years. So the dog died like a year before my son was born. Like Cleophas lived forever. And he wasn't murdered by a raccoon, but he was an old dog, and the raccoon, it was like his last fight, and he almost bled to death. Yeah. So raccoons are no joke.
Well, and raccoons travel in family groups. So it'll be 5 or 6 of them will gang up on another animal.
Exactly.
Well, it's well known that if for coon dogs, you better have a well-trained coon dog that knows when to back off, because the raccoon will attack a dog and will tear it to shreds.
They held one of my neighbor's garages hostage. Yeah. They broke in a garage and I saw this. I literally saw her running from her house one day, and I went over there. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, there's raccoons in there. First, I tried not to laugh in her face, but then we called the city, and those ornery things, they were biting the pole. They were fighting the people. Yeah. Like they held her garage hostage. Oh yeah. They don't mess around.
We had that happen when I lived down in the commune. We finally just gave up the garage for the summer.
Yeah, and they get old.
I will fight back. No way.
When I was living in New York, the raccoons started coming in the cat door to get the cat food. They'd come right into the kitchen.
I do not like raccoons.
I do. Yeah, and then I wound up chasing them out of there with a mop several times.
See, and I've known people that had raccoons as pets, and they're wonderful pets. They're a blast to live with, and they don't bite. Once they get to know you and it's family.
I've known a couple of people who've had them as pets too, but it's one of those things that you don't know what's going to trigger them, and they could snap in an instant.
Well, yeah, they are wild. So.
It's I would have a possum before I would have a raccoon. We have a lot of possums around. We have a ton of them around here, and they mind their own business, and they eat ticks. They have their babies, and they're quiet. And raccoons are. They're disgusting. I do not like raccoons.
I like possums, and when I was growing up, one year when the Des Plaines River flooded, a lot of animals were displaced, and we wound up having a family of possums living in our garage. That the mother had, come and set up her nest in there, and she had her babies in the garage.
Possums are less aggressive at least from my experience.
Yeah, possums would rather avoid people.
Yeah,
they're pretty scary when you have them cornered and they start to hiss and.
Their teeth are huge.
They can scare you. They're pretty.
Oh yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, but basically they'll only do that if you corner them. If retreat is an option, they will rather run away.
I have yet to see one play dead. They say they will.
Twitter, look for the page Possums Every Hour, and you can get your feed of possum.
Yeah, I'm following that one on Twitter.
So you two are the reason why I see that. I wondered why I see that.
Yep. There's so many cute baby possums.
So you're the one who posts all the floofs, huh?
I
Well,
have,
some of them.
I post floofs. Yeah, absolutely.
I knew it was you two.
Well, I follow the possums and bats.
Well, I always like both of your stuff, so the algorithm is always like, "Oh, they liked this, so you should like it too."
There's foxes every hour. I like that one. I've passed those on before.
I've seen that.
Yeah, there's a snakes every hour. I don't follow that, but because Nervardia does, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
That would give me like I have weird nightmares about stuff like that, and not even like haha. Like I have great where I wake up like oh.
I was disappointed that I couldn't find a underarm pustules every hour.
Maybe there's a medieval pox every hour.
Oh yes, and otter news. I love otters.
Yeah, the otters.
When I was a kid, I
love
used to
otters.
fantasize about having a couple of otters as pets, and having like half the living room be a swimming pool for them.
I would love to have an otter. They're look like so much more fun than weasels.
See, I have to look now. On
parrots,
on YouTube, I'm following like an orca. I think I'm following like a koala bear. I fall asleep to the manatee one.
Yeah, I got Sloth Girl a sticker for her computer of 2 otters cuddling.
Oh,
Because that it finally a way to sum up what our relationship is she's my otter half.
oh,
We're not romantically involved at all, but we just hold hands enough so we don't drift apart.
I get
That's
quokkas every hour too. I love quokkas.
Okay, so you're where that one came from.
Yeah.
Yep.
you see,
I
that's
sent
it.
that one to Sloth Girl because she likes them too.
If you don't know what a quokka is, Quokka. They're from Australia, and they're just the cutest damn rodent you've ever seen in your life.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm-
and Lieutenant Uhura keeps making jokes that's John Oliver.
So
quokka.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
I'm
Which reminds me.
so go ahead.
Sorry, it's like just looking at the coca just reminds me. Last year, at the other place that I was living at, they recently got woodchucks. And
Oh,
they were
awesome.
pretty big. So just looking at the cocas just reminded me of that.
I follow something called Explore Oceans, and they have a hot springs cam, a manatee cam, an orca lab cam, a Channel Islands, which that's sad because I could drive to Channel Islands right now. That's sad that I'd rather watch it on YouTube than go to the ocean during the day. Frying Pan Sea Level, Sea Otters at Moss Landing. They have a bunch of really cool stuff on there, and I fall asleep to it.
So going back on the holidays, is there like cute cute animal day?
Hug your floof day.
Hug your floof day.
International Floof Day.
Exactly. I think I just like saying international.
Otters kill crocodiles?
Otters are dicks. I could see that. Otters are dicks.
Well,
I could totally see that.
I didn't think they could take on a crocodile. It just,
They're-
kind of out of their weight class.
Well, what size?
They're buff though. Otters are buff. You get 15 otters on one croc. I could see that.
Yeah, but baby crocodiles, they can be this big.
True.
Yeah, I would say
That's
baby
so true.
crocodiles. Yeah.
And otters aren't dicks. No. They're smart animals, but they don't really bug anyone else.
Well,
They
shaped
do.
dicks.
They do mean things to each other.
They're
I don't
thick,
wanna-
long, and they got a head. That's
I don't want to say what it is they do
pretty
to
much
each
like a
other.
dick.
They do
Okay,
non-consent. I watched this documentary and it showed like their aggressive side, and I was like, otters are dicks. But imagine if some other species was watching a documentary about humans.
Yep.
What would they say about us?
Okay. No, heat shield, not flurfs. That's the first rule of the internet you've got to learn. Is
Floof.
flurfs bad, floofs good.
You hug a floof, you shun a flurf. I was going to say something else, but that's mean.
I was wondering how you were
Just for
planning
some
to finish that.
context.
I'm really good at censoring myself mid-sentence because I always think, like, do I want this to get repeated back to myself forever? Because my son repeats back everything I say. So I've become, I stop. I say mother trucker. I've learned to really censor myself.
Why? Because of the kid?
Yeah, because you know, you want your kid to be better. I want my kid to be better than me, and he is foul mouth, and he learned it all from me.
We're
And
foul mouth.
I'm trying to like, and it's not even anything that, you know, I'm not even cool dad. I just am not stuffy, you know, uptight dad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while, I'll let something fly out of my mouth, and I'm like, "Oops, I shouldn't have said that."
Well, and
Yeah.
that makes sense. You know, I don't see any reason why that's not bad or anything. I don't know.
I grew up in a really repressive era where, like, you know, you had to like, kids were not heard, or whatever the saying is, you know, seen but not heard, you know.
Oh, I never even heard the word fuck until I was in high school. Yeah, my father never said that word ever.
My father never cursed you. Sorry.
My mom had actually more of a foul mouth than my dad. And for them, foul mouth meant that she'd say something like, I think the worst word I'd ever hear her say was shit. You know, so.
Okay, heat shield. You don't know what a floof is? A floof is basically just anything that is cute and furry.
And what's a flirt then?
Flat earther.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, and Theo says that as a group, the otters just basically harass the crocodiles until they're exhausted and drown them.
See, that's
okay. And what Antre's saying, I actually did hear about this, that the males will kidnap the babies and hold them for ransom.
See, I told you, otters are dicks. Otters are dicks. That's not a nice thing. That's a dick move.
Okay, Will, are you adopting?
I love the little.
Why not? Why not, doorknob head? I love your beard.
I'm a huge fan of the beard too.
Is that your floof?
That's my floof.
Aww.
What's their name?
Her name is Harumi, which is like springtime in Japanese. Springtime beauty.
Oh.
She's a Shiba.
Shiba.
Some people just likes to call her a fox.
I've never seen one with spots.
Yeah, so she has, you know, a pretty unique pattern to her.
I saw a all white Shiba. I didn't know those existed either.
I didn't even think fox until you said anything, and now I can't unsee the fox. I just saw a floof, and now I can't unsee the fox. It totally looks like a fox. That's awesome.
What does the fox say?
Oh,
I'm not trying to get purple. I'm not trying to get purple taken down. We listened to that song about a year longer than everybody else did around here. My son loved that song.
Well, if you ever look up the Shiba scream, that's pretty much what it is.
Oh, that's awesome. Aw.
That is a sweet puppy.
You know, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I want to get a dog, but I get too attached. I still haven't dealt with Cleovis's death, and that was 12 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, you get attached. They become like family members, you know.
Oh, no, I know exactly what you mean. I still feel bad about a couple of them that I lost.
Yeah.
See, I've always found with mine, when they die, if you butcher them and eat them. Then it's more like it was just a feed animal, and you don't feel that way.
I'll try that next time. No, you saved it because I was choking up, and you completely took the cries away with that one. I was getting sentimental, thinking about Cleophas, my old dog, and yes, I named my dog Cleophas. Aww.
Okay, that's Sammy-san.
Aww. Aww.
He's my pal.
I'd kind of like to get a pet too, but my apartment is just way too small. I wouldn't even have a
I'll
cat
be right
Sammy-san's size in here.
Well, that's why I wouldn't have a dog unless I've got a yard for them. They need to be able to go outside and run. A cat
they
can be okay in
absolutely
an
need
apartment.
Yeah. I mean, it probably would be okay for me to have a house cat in here, but it's just to my standards, to my liking, I just can't, go to work for 8 hours and leave a cat in this small place,
The cat would go insane. We had
anything bigger than a ferret. I don't think I should have in this place.
Have you ever owned a ferret?
No, I've heard they can be kind of high maintenance, and Pirate Kitty owns ferrets, or at least did. Recently, but
now, yeah.
I've owned 2.
I think she lost one of them. Did she lose the other one, or?
I think so. It's something that I haven't really wanted to ask, but from some comments on Twitter's, I don't think she has any anymore.
I'll never get a ferret again for that very reason, because you get attached and they become like a family member,
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. So that's why I asked that question. But when they break out, they're worse than hamsters. They will burrow into anything. They're awesome. Ferrets are awesome. But after a while, like you start smelling like the ferret.
Perp, I sent you 2 floof pictures.
Okay. In a minute here.
The hard thing to deal with is just the shedding.
I don't know.
And this is Petunia. This is Soft Girl's Flurf.
Oh. Petunia. That's a sweet name for a cat, too.
That's old school. That's old school.
Well, she didn't actually name her. That was her name when she got her from the shelter.
Aw.
Cool.
I'll be right back.
Okay, and Jenny said she sent me something on Twitter. Are you sure? I'm on Twitter. I'm not finding anything.
Mid-America chat.
Oh, okay. For some weird reason, it was not showing me that anything new was there. Okay, this take me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Doc, if you're still there, I live in a 20 by 20, but luckily we have like a kind of like a yard in the back unit, so I guess that's a plus for her, that she can just roam around. The only thing is that right now everything's muddy, so we're going to be working on the yard so we can get some more grass out there for her.
Yep, that's good.
She's high energy, and yeah, she needs that running space. Otherwise, I'd feel pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Tria and Randolph.
Hi, Tria.
Hello.
Hey, I'm checking out and see if this is working on my phone, because I kind of missed joining in the live stream. So
I was wondering why we
hopefully
hadn't had you in here for some time.
Yeah, you've been a
Yeah.
Randolph.
Hey, Randolph.
Oh,
Okay, here's Jenny's Floofs.
Baby. It's
oh, look at those
pretty.
ears. Wow.
That was my
Those are tall ears for a
she
dog.
was
Oh,
she weighed in at about 110 pounds. Her name was Bosch.
oh.
That dog must have had awesome hearing.
And who is the black one here?
And that's my most recent, who I had to give up about a year ago.
Oh.
Healthy looking dogs.
Cubby was a black lab Lhasa Apso Chow mix.
Oh, wow.
and I heard the story. A black lab and a Lhasa Apso got together at a party, and the result of that got together with a chow, and Cubby was the result of that. And he was such a sweet dog. He wasn't a snuggling kind of dog, because chows are just not that way. But he was so obedient. He was so smart, so willing to learn. He was just a very kind and well-mannered dog. And I miss him terribly.
When I lived in St. Paul, we had a chow. You say the word snuggling. Well, they told us she was a purebred chow. I wasn't really buying it. I think there's probably some Spitz mixed in. But, one of those dogs that she definitely attached to me specifically. So she was very cuddly with me and with my two youngest wards. But not so much with my ex, even though it was supposed to have been her dog.
That's kind of how I got Elmer. Elmer was supposed to be my sister's cat, and then he had other plans.
Well, I think the main thing was just I was the one who, did the most with her, because I would take her for walks twice a day. I was really the only one who ever took her outside the yard. Yeah. So I'd take her for walks in the park twice a day.
No, anytime somebody tells me that a cat will only choose you if you're the one feeding it, I laugh in their face, because I had nothing to do with this dumb beast over here. And he was like, nope, I want you. And I'm going, really? Okay, I guess I'm yours now, huh?
They chose you.
Yeah, he actually did, and it's a good thing that he did, because he has health problems. And if my sister had been in charge of him, he would have caused her a lot of stress. So, but yeah, he basically said, nope, I don't want anything to do with you, and picked me. And I'm just like looking over at him like, this is not how this was supposed to work.
Well, and a lot of people say with cats in general, that it's just about the food. And no, I wound up, while I was in New York, of redomesticating 3 cats from the feral colony in the park.
Oh, wow.
And I can, even tell you the exact day with Fiona of when I was laying on the couch and she came and hopped up next to me, and it was just so clear that, the food was no longer as important as having the physical contact.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in a house with a future crazy cat lady. She had 5 cats and a chihuahua, and one of her cats, he was older. His name was Spiky, and that cat fell in love with me. I think the cat was addicted to nicotine, but the cat absolutely loved me. That cat adopted me.
Mm-hmm.
Cats are funny that way. They're just funny that way. Oh, I miss Spiky. You guys are gonna make me cry. We're talking about pets. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, another odd thing that the chow we had. I mean, people talk about gaydar. Our chow, I swear, was allergic to testosterone. Because other than me, she would not let any male in the house without making a major noise about it. With one exception, one friend of mine she was fine with, because he was and this is not in any derogatory way, it is simply descriptive of him. He was the most flamboyant queer you have ever met in your life. And the only woman she ever had a problem with was a very butch dyke.
When I was a kid, we had, at most, we always had pets, but my mom would rescue stray cats and get them to the vet and do all sorts of stuff. And the cats it would take a while. Some of them took longer to adapt and fit in, but we had success with all of them. Some faster than others. The most we had were 5 cats and 2 dogs. And I can remember, I was still a kid, and I remember there were certain things that I didn't like to eat. And so, of course, me and my brother, we'd somehow the food would accidentally fall onto the floor. And then we'd hear the dog's collar. And we knew the food was taken care of. And I tell you, the flatulence from that dog 2 hours later was just it's awful. But it was still worth it because we didn't like boiled Brussels sprouts and boiled broccoli and stuff like that. Most of the food was good, but once in a while there was something like that you didn't like, right? We didn't have that very often. So, but
you don't eat artichoke? I love artichoke. Brussels sprouts.
Oh, yeah.
But it was funny. The boiled Brussels sprouts, the dog did not eat those.
I learned a recipe the other day where it was a salad and the base veggie was sliced Brussels sprouts.
Oh yeah,
you know,
just had some a week ago.
They sliced them on a mandolin so they're nice and thin, and you know they have this like a miniature cabbage shape. It looked so scrumptious. I gotta try that. I love Brussels sprouts, especially.
Just had some a couple of weeks ago. They're really good. All roasted in some nice sauce, so that makes it better, much better.
Now I'm craving artichoke.
Yeah,
artichokes I like, but they're so much trouble.
You know, I think I'm more addicted to the butter sauce that I make.
Yeah, the only way I'll have artichokes is like if it's in hummus.
I love spinach artichoke dip the way I make it. I use Alfredo sauce. I use a little bit of cream cheese. Lots of spinach. Lots of.
You could have stopped at the first 2 ingredients. That would have been fine.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. You guys are making me hungry, and I love hummus. I love hummus. Absolutely love it. Hummus problem.
I can send you the recipe later. I'll look it up and send it to you.
Awesome.
And the only difference is I use way more Alfredo sauce than what the recipe calls for, and I often make the Alfredo sauce myself.
Ooh,
that's great.
I make a lot of stuff from scratch. Depends on what it is. But I love fresh bread, but it doesn't love me because I've gained 40 pounds in a year.
Yeah, we just made like 2 loaves yesterday.
Oh, it's the greatest. Oh, it's
the nutritionist we're talking to is like, y'all need to lay off the bread. And I was like, yeah, we know, but that's probably not going to happen. Thanks for the tip, though.
I always thought hummus was plural for hummus.
You know, I had never had it, and one day, sorry.
That's how cats are. They choose their owners.
Someone I knew was like, you know, for all the exotic stuff, you've never had hummus, and I was like, no, and I fell in love with it. But I like garlic hummus.
Hummus is great with naan bread.
Oh, absolutely. And
I still think I'm right. I still think I'm right that the hummus is plural for hummus. I gave him a hummer. I gave them a hummus. You know,
would it be hummi? Just to play devil's advocate.
At college, maybe.
or hummus.
Yeah, if anybody's tried this, any hummus lovers will try the hummus chocolate. Oh, the chocolate hummus.
Is it any good?
Yeah, actually, the
Okay.
Sabra brand at least.
So will there ever be a humtella, like a Nutella
Oh.
hummus sauce?
So one of the reasons I kind of flinched is because I reached a certain age where I couldn't because of my lungs, I can't necessarily drink milk like I used to or at all. And
Have you tried
I
this
try
alternative?
it. My brain tells me it's not milk. There's something about soy milk. My brain is like, nope. It tastes different. The texture, it takes me back
Yeah,
like
it does taste
30
different.
years.
This one's nice. It's not chalky like like most of the soy drinks are. So.
I drank milk every day until I couldn't anymore. And I was told by a doctor, like, you better stop, you dummy. Like, you have asthma, you just can't process it anymore. And
I drank 4 liters a week when I was a kid. Those big 4-liter jugs.
Oh, yeah.
Done in a week. Yep. I drank a lot of milk.
Oh, we used to go through 3-4 gallons of milk a
Absolutely.
week in our family.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember when the stores sold it in plastic bags. I never liked the taste of that. It tasted different. You could taste the plastic of it.
It's like that in Mexico and Guatemala. They still do that.
They sell the plastic containers to serve it from, and so you can put the bag in, chop the corner off, and off it goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Quick Trip gas stations sell it in the half-gallon plastic bags.
Mm-hmm.
Gas station. Okay.
Are we talking about powdered milk?
It's a giant convenience store with.
No, we're not talking powdered milk. That stuff is horrid. No.
Oh, you're bringing me back.
I love powdered milk. I love powdered milk. Not to drink, but to have on hand. Cause you can make. I make an Alfredo sauce with powdered milk and butter, and then throw in a little Parmesan.
That makes sense. That sounds like a good use for it.
You can make it in like 20 seconds. You boil your noodles, and when they're all done, you just put in a little water, a little powdered milk, and you just start heating it and stirring it, and it turns into Alfredo sauce.
See, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. When I think of powdered milk, I think of once a year, my parents would go on vacation, and sometimes they would leave us at my grandma's house, and she drank powdered milk. That's what it was.
I drank the Ovaltine pretty much every morning when I was in school.
Oh.
And never occurred to anyone that I had a dairy sensitivity. So it, in retrospect, explains why I had so many stomach aches. And they always thought I was just faking because it happened so often.
That's how I found out I was allergic to tomatoes, was at school. Because I didn't know. I had no idea.
To tomatoes? That's horrible.
So
my eyes...
Actually, in the US, is that called Ovaltine in the US? Or is it Ovaltine? Because here we have something called Ovaltine.
Yeah,
I think it's
Ovaltine.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We also have a drink here called Horlicks. It sounds a dirty pun.
I don't know what that is.
It sounds like something you get at Hogwarts.
After hours activity.
I know, it's actually pretty good. You mix it in with your drink, and it's into hot water or hot milk or something. It tastes great, but the name always struck me as odd. Horlicks.
Do what you got to do,
But it's spelled HORLICKS. So, but
I'm always down for a milk alternative because I miss milk. It's just my brain, because I drink so much milk, my brain tells me like, oh.
I would like to find a good alternative for milk, just because like to have cereal once in a while, but
exactly.
I had to stop because I found out that I started gradually over the years developing some kind of hay fever in the summer times. Every summer, lots of hay fever. And it was just awful going out in the hot weather. And I just didn't like it because all the kind of, it was like an allergic reaction almost. Turned out it was milk, cow's milk. So that's why I switched to this one. And I'm no longer allergic to summer, or no longer having hay fever at summertime. So it's been really nice. So. Oh,
have you tried oat milk?
I tell you, the live chat people are just wonderful. They make this so much fun.
Absolutely.
Jared really has a mouth on her.
There's something about YouTube. You couldn't get this from television. It's unique to YouTube being able to do all this. Yeah.
Yes, doorknob head. You are the meaning of innocence.
Jared has made me blush.
Okay, oat milk I've never seen.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
Google
it's
it
actually
right
pretty
now. It's so funny you would say that. The second I saw that, I was like, "Oh, where's my phone?"
Yeah, oat milk's actually pretty good.
Like oat milk is kind of like eating brown bread instead of white bread. Like drinking oat milk versus regular milk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Brown
I
bread,
like-
as in like white bread that's tinted brown and called wheat.
Yeah, sorry, I meant wheat bread. Thank you. Yeah,
brown
whole
bread.
wheat bread. Yeah, it's kind of like that compared to regular bread. Yeah.
Boiling in a canned bread.
Yeah, I think part of my problem with
Oh.
any of the milk substitutes is the texture is never right. They're always way too watery.
Not this one. I don't know if you've tried this one.
No, like I said, I've never heard of oat milk, so I'll have to check for
This
that.
is called Silk. It's,
Oh yeah, I've tried that brand.
and what do you think of it?
Still, it's just not right. The texture is too watery. It doesn't have enough body to it.
You probably
Absolutely.
tried the unsweetened kind. That's why this is the not the unsweetened one. So
Yeah, I would go with
So-
the
so
original or
purple-
vanilla.
I have the same complaint about the unsweetened one. Like I drank so much milk as a kid, I could tell what brand of milk I was drinking, and their differences. Like Lucerne was a little bit more watery. Foremost was really quite nice and a bit thick. Dairyland was kind of like your baseline standard. And we go to friends' places, and they know because my friends knew, right? So the parents would usually pour some milk for me, and they say, "Okay, tell us what brand it is," and I'd be able to tell them every time. And then one time, the guy's got this smirk on his face, and he gave it to me, and I'm thinking, I'm having trouble. It tastes like this brand and this brand kind of, both of them are here. And he was just shocked and floored by it. I said, I mixed those two together. So it was like, holy cow. Yeah, there's certain attributes that I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But yeah, so I nailed it right on that one as well. But I can't do that now. But it was quite entertaining for our friends.
You know,
People
I
do
must.
wines.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
Go
must
ahead.
really confuse Google because I went from car parts to oat milk, and now I'm like doing this whole research about oat milk.
Anti-patterns for the win.
No, I do that. I have confused YouTube. YouTube does not know what direction to, because I listen to all different types of music. Like I watch all different types of stuff, and I will watch the opposition side. I watch some evangelical Christian propaganda. I want to know what they're thinking, but
I
there's
really wish. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, go ahead. There's this one I used to watch turfs and people that were homophobic, but I just can't take it anymore. Like it makes me angry. It's bad for my blood pressure.
I don't like it either.
So I really don't, but I wanted to know what the enemy is saying, because they're saying dangerous things. So sometimes you have to, and it's not the everyday person, it's the people who are calling for harm on other people.
Well, if you want to know for sure, just go to an evangelical church and just act real manly in their view, and you'll come across plenty of it.
You know what though? Even Godless Granny had one of her videos was about a evangelical preacher in LA, and I'm like, there's people here that drink the Kool-Aid and buy that BS.
Hey, if anybody in the chat lives in Arkansas, get a hold of your governor immediately and tell them to not sign that transgender hatred bill. They're going to try and criminalize being transgender. Put people in jail and stuff for that.
That's a human rights violation.
And Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't matter, unfortunately, in the
Oh my
environment
gosh.
we're in right now.
Yeah, it's scary times.
But get a hold of your governor from Arkansas. And even if you don't live in Arkansas, get a hold of that.
Yeah. Well, and I really think that they're pushing a lot of these hate bills through now because they're hoping that they'll get brought up to the Supreme Court with the makeup it has now.
Well,
Mhm.
it's also they're trying to develop the wedge issue for the 2022 elections, and they're going to try and make it against, we're
Now-
moral and the Democrats.
Now, I
aren't.
know some people will be able to move to another country, but most of the people I suspect are going to be stuck there with those kind of laws. It's going to be that could be the fuel that starts a civil war. As people will fight for human rights.
I don't think we're anywhere near close to a civil war.
There ain't nobody going to fight for transgender people. Believe me.
No.
The problem is
I will.
the problem is
Many. I suspect there are people who probably said that about black people a long time ago.
The thing is that too many Americans are complacent, especially if it doesn't involve them.
Yep.
I'm
say
watching
that-
it happen right now. I'm watching that happen right now. Once Trump was out of office, a bunch of people got complacent. Even though Trump was terrible and shitty and horrific, he wasn't the only problem, and people treated him like he was the only problem,
yeah, he
and
was
are now
ahead of
getting complacent.
I always say, as someone who helps people on the streets, like, we always need help. So go volunteer where you live. If you want to make a difference, there's always an organization or something that needs your help.
Mhm.
Jenny, I
Yeah.
wonder if it might help to characterize that kind of draconian law as a Saudi Arabia style law. That seems to kind of light a fire under people's butts a bit.
That might be a good way to phrase it, yeah, to get
Well,
people to look at it differently.
It follows right along with the attempts, or not attempts, but the successes of the Nazi Party in Germany as they moved into power and developed the authoritarian regime. This is exactly how they did it. They went after Jews. They went after gay people. They went after whatever marginalized folks they could come up with.
People
And
need to do better.
The Republican Party has become, and it's what they're doing now.
This is Junie's puppy.
Oh,
It's a baby.
That's a happy dog. Look at that, enjoying the snow.
Look at all that fun stuff I get to jump around in.
Yeah, our chow Ginger Snap used to do that, bounding through the snow like that, even if it was deeper than she was.
that's so awesome.
Yeah, which is why she's wearing the raincoat instead of the thicker coat to keep the water away.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
baby.
That dog's in heaven.
She
Yes,
made
That's a
that
nice
work.
little video. That's a nice little video.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that before I head out. Speaking of which, like, she's trying to get my attention to walk her out. So
That's lovely.
My hubby was a snow dog. He would go outside. It didn't matter how fucking cold it was outside. He would just go lay down.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That
Ginger
dog
Snap
is-
used to lay out on the deck with the snow falling, and she would lay perfectly still for hours until we just had a snowdrift with a little black nose sticking out.
I've seen cats play in the snow like this too. It's usually dogs, though.
Oh, my Tasha, I had lived in an apartment when I first had her, and then moved in with my ex in her house.
Natasha's a cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she got to learn to be an outdoor cat, but
Good.
then as soon as it snowed, she decided, no, we're having none of that. She put one paw in the snow, came right back in, and so she was an outdoor cat half the year, but November to April she would not go outside. If she could see snow on the deck, she was having none of it.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Have a good night.
Take care.
Good talking to you.
You.
Yep. Hi, Jen.
Fun hanging out with you.
Hey, Jen's here too. Okay.
Is that you working? Yes, it was. When all the snow was there.
Pretty doggy baby.
Jen, just scrolling back a bit. Jen, you said you need help with something?
I'm reading all these horrible bills across in America. It's 8 bills across 7 states coordinated anti-transgender, anti-LGBTQIA plus legislative push ramps up in states' houses across the country.
Oh, and while you're at that, something that is very, very similar but hidden under the guise of something else is be careful of porn bans and be careful of protect the children type stuff because that's often used. Often LGBTQ plus stuff is also often pushed under porn because a lot of Christian sects think that any kind of affection or showing of being pro LGBTQ plus or anything like that is considered lustful and therefore is considered porn.
Yeah.
So be aware of those kinds of bills as well. While I do think that filters are helpful for parents, and that parents should be able to keep little children from being able to see things, often these porn bans are secretly not just about porn. So keep that in mind.
So in Alabama, they have a medical bill ban. And they have 2 medical bill bans. In Arizona, I'm so shocked. I don't know why I'm so naive, but I'm shocked. They have so basically you can't change your gender and anti-transgender birth certificate bill in Arizona. Wow. Georgia, of course, it's a sports ban. Iowa.
The Arizona bill is worse than that. It's actually trying to ban healthcare for trans people as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard there's a couple of those like that.
Iowa,
I think it's Alabama. They're trying to make it a felony for anyone to give even therapy to a mother
that already passed, I believe.
I was about to say it's already passed.
That was for kids. The Arizona one includes adults, not just kids.
You know what I think? That sounds like a lot of hate behind that. If people are going to make laws about
it is.
That is a huge amount of hate.
What bothers me most about this is that, remember maybe a year or so back during the Trump administration when like Laverne Cox was had her show going and this person or that person had hassles at a job or something like that, and all the allies from all over the country started standing up saying, no, you can't do this to these poor people, and all the corporations stand behind. No, we're not gonna even go to your state anymore if you.
I do remember that. I do.
It is absolutely zero support right now.
Iowa.
Letters. No corporations are opening their mouths. We're gonna be butchered in this round.
In Iowa, there's an anti-transgender bathroom bill. In Mississippi, it's anti-transgender sports ban bill. South Dakota, religious refuse. Oh, go F yourself, South Dakota. Tennessee, it's sports again. The problem is that a lot of these states are some of the poorest states in the union.
Yeah, so they're not educated.
Arizona is just gone.
Well, they are generally the states that have the fundamentalist Christians, who are also generally the ones who have discouraged teaching any science or history in schools.
In Arizona, it's Catholics, and a lot of people just religion is passed down from generation to generation. It's ridiculous. I'm kind of shocked about Arizona because I live in a cave and I choose not to look at the news too much. So Arizona kind of pisses me off because that's right next door.
Yeah, I can't look at news too much either. It winds up getting too overwhelming for me. So I just can't believe the way people are.
That's my thing.
We need anybody who cares to talk to their straight non-LGBTQ IAA whatever friends and family to get them to stand up and say something.
Yeah.
They are going after our jugulars. They want us dead.
Yep.
This is not a joke. This is not an exaggeration. They want us dead.
Well, non-existent. I don't know about necessarily dead. They want trans people to not be seen, heard, or exist in their world.
Posey Parker says that armed men should be going into the bathrooms and shooting trans people.
Yeah,
Matt Powell thinks gay people should be murdered by a righteous state. You know, underneath all of it, it goes back to witch burning. Underneath all of it is if you're different, we're gonna kill you. That's human beings have not changed much. We have not changed that much.
And it's all religiously based.
All of it. All of it is 100%.
Yeah, all of it religiously based. All of it.
If anybody wants to apply science to this, which they're trying to do, the science they use has to be at least 100 years old. Because in the last 100 years, we've learned a great deal about what is gender, what is sexuality, where does it
biology.
Even the science they try to use for their sports arguments is old, and they don't look at any of the new stuff. Well, unless that new stuff might have something in it that they can cherry pick.
Right now, a lot of the bills out there are for the sports question. The reality of the sports question is the same as the reality of the bathroom situation. It is a made-up issue.
And they're going after kids.
Transgender people have been allowed to compete in the Olympics and in college and in high school sports for like almost 20 years.
And aren't they more heavily regulated than cis people?
Please let me finish.
Yes.
Sorry.
Please let me finish. Not one person has ever taken a championship or even been at runners-up in Division II sports, okay? There has not been one Olympic athlete, a transgender Olympic athlete, ever, okay?
Except for Mac Beggs.
There are no men who are saying, I'm going to dress up as a girl, take hormones, destroy my male body so that I can win trophies against girls. No, this is not happening.
Too much of a commitment for that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're applying.
There is an exception to what you said, Jenny. Mac Beggs definitely won championships. However, Mac Beggs was forced by the Texas law of the time to compete against women because Mac Beggs was born female.
Exactly.
So their law forced a trans man to compete with the girls.
You know, the point about trans washrooms is it doesn't seem like a new issue to me because airplanes don't have separate men's and women's washrooms. People's homes don't have it. Like, this is not a new thing, but suddenly in the public, people go nuts. It just seems.
It's the same argument.
Issue. This is made up specifically to get people riled to use it as a wedge issue in the next election.
Yep. And it's the same. It's the same argument that you had back in the days with race. Oh, we can't have black people in the same toilets as white people. And then once, of course, we had those laws change, we end up with, you can't have gays in the toilets because the gays in the toilets are going to hurt the children. So now they've lost that. We can't have the trans in the toilets because they're going to hurt the children. It's like, fuck off.
They'll never be happy. They'll never be happy.
If you guys ever want to, if you ever get bored, there's an interview with Mike Wallace and Martin Luther King where Mike Wallace looks Martin Luther King in the eye and asks him, don't you think people are tired of black rights? Don't you think people are tired of it? Why don't you just stop what you're doing? Go watch it. It's on
Yeah.
YouTube right now, where he tells them, like, the American people, the Vietnam War is more important than civil rights. You know, where he goes off on go watch it. You know,
What a stupid comment. The whole one of the things about having military is to defend people's rights.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what people thought back in the day. They were like, "Oh, so what? Who cares about you?" You know.
But if you bring up to any of these fucking assholes who are bigots, that the same arguments you're using now are the arguments that we used back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s against black people. They are the same arguments you've used against gays, and are now using against trans people. They go, "Oh no, they'll go, you're a racist."
It's recycling.
No, not being racist. You were the racist back then. You're the bigot now. It's the same fucking arguments. It's the same fucking shit.
Yes,
different flavor of bigotry. That's all it is.
I'm telling
that's all
you,
it is.
It'll give you chills if you watch that interview, because it's word for word the same words that are used to discriminate against another crowd now.
Yep.
It's called preserving tradition.
Yeah, no, and that's all it is.
Yeah, want to keep. It's because the haves will want to keep having.
Yeah, in my own life, I've seen that cycle go over and over, and you know, just like Jen was saying, that it's not even anything new. They use the same arguments. It's just cut and paste, replace one word with a different group of people, and recycle the same arguments every 10 or 20 years.
Yep.
And even the sports
who
issue.
they think they can get away with. It's basically who they think they can get away with at the time. When they feel like they can't discriminate against one group, they just switch.
Yeah.
Even though,
unfortunately, I see that on so many levels that it's not just the people you would think of as bigots, because I've gone through the same cycle a couple of times within the LGBT community. That back in the early 80s, they were debating whether or not bisexuals should be included.
Yep, and now the bisexual argument is now being used against aces.
You know, and I want to say something. I want to say something about sports. When I was in high school, I played high school football, and there was a girl on our team. And you know what? No one died. We never had issues about showering. We never had issues about anything. She was on the team. That's just the way it was, you know? I think people, the idea is more scary than actually just living your life and like getting on with your life and minding your own business, you know?
You know,
the segregation of sports between men and women didn't come about to protect women. It came about to protect men's egos.
You know, this whole
but it did. Men wanted it separated because they didn't want to run the risk of getting beaten by some girl.
Yeah,
It wasn't separated for women's rights. It wasn't about women's rights.
And this whole
it is a women's rights issue now, but it wasn't.
And this whole thing about people feeling ashamed about their sexuality seems to me it comes from religion. Like, it's always religious people who are pushing all this idea. Never had this issue when we were kids, and then as we get older, it's the religious kids who talked about it.
Well, it's the shame cycle. It's the shame cycle if you have to feel bad about yourself. Like if you don't feel bad about yourself, you're not going to repent. You're not going to confide in a pastor or a preacher. You know, because why would you?
You know what? That sounds like a solution.
in the 80s, we had to work for a couple of years, at least, but it was actually more about 3-4 years, where we had to put in serious effort and phone calls and letter writing and blah 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 to get a women's class in auto racing abolished, because there were people who thought that you have to have a different class for racing cars for women.
That's insane.
Yes, isn't
That's
it?
so crazy. That doesn't make sense.
But back then, they couldn't see that. They couldn't see how insane that is.
What was their argument?
Because it was never about that. It was always about
because they'll never have the endurance that.
Let me guess. What was the argument that the breasts cause a slightly different weight distribution at the front of the car or something?
No, it was primarily it revolved around endurance, and that women are weak, and so they're not going to have the muscle strength, the longevity of muscle strength to compete.
What were they, incels?
They'll become dangerous to themselves as the event.
The whole concept of splitting men and women in sports always came down to fragile men's egos. It really did.
Yeah.
Always.
Endurance is more of an individual thing.
They projected on us. They were
Breaking up, try your robot.
Yeah. And
I
endurance
can't
is
handle all of these things. Blah, blah.
and endurance is more of an individual thing anyway.
Okay.
Splitting sport by sex or gender actually makes no sense if you're talking about fairness.
And strength.
Body type makes sense, or actually measuring people's individual strengths and then things and doing proper handicaps. Now, if you're going to put proper handicaps in all sports, then yeah, you could have fair sports. Sports isn't about fairness. Sports is about at the top level. Sports is about how much money fucking companies can make.
Oh, of course, but also
which was of course the other reason for keeping women out of it, because having women in the sports they thought would reduce the amount of money the companies would make out of it. So we needed men's sport because that's where the money is.
And if it's Olympics,
the ideology is still there.
And if it's Olympics, it's a drugs competition.
Yeah.
Who has the better drugs from what country that are undetectable?
So I've got to ask there, how the fuck is there any chance that any trans person is going to have an advantage when trans people are actually, generally trans women especially, are taking drugs that inhibit ability?
I think we really don't. I think we shouldn't separate it by sex. Do it by weight class. I told you.
Depending on the sport, you'd have to separate by different things, not just weight class. You'd have to different things, but you could separate sports in a lot better way than we are at the moment.
I would love to be in a hockey or a basketball league with everybody.
It's really easy. Think of it in terms of: would you separate on sex for a chess competition?
Of course you wouldn't.
This argument is not about whether or not we should have separate men's and women's sports. This argument is about whether or not trans women are women and allowed to go and play in women's sports.
Exactly.
That's what
the argument should be.
Okay.
And unfortunately, though,
men and women should or should not compete against each other.
I agree with you 100%.
Co-ed stuff, but this is not about whether or not men's and women's sports should be separate. Okay.
The knee jerk in the whole argument is because they want to try to show that trans women aren't women. That's their whole point.
They want trans women to be thought of as men, period.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And sports is that kicker that they want to do it with.
Ancient science tells them that the only definition they can have for male and female is what you're fucking born with in your crotch. Okay? No matter how many times that's been proven wrong through genetic error, and environmental conditions and uteral conditions and blah, blah, blah. I won't go into it right now. But no matter what they say, it's just not true, okay? And when you take a person and you get them on puberty blockers and you put the right hormones in them, they grow up to be just the same person as the one who has those drugs naturally, okay?
Yes.
I do realize, though, that
and if you take somebody
I've just realized with this discussion... Sorry, Jenny.
If you take somebody who's gone through pubescence and you put them on blockers and you put them on the right hormones, they're going to lose strength as a male to female person. They're going to lose strength to the point that they're going to be no better advantage-wise than any woman who's out there. Period.
It does take a few years, though.
It's proven scientifically and medically. Duh.
And then they argue bigger bones.
Bullshit.
I know.
No such thing as big bones.
Got to realize that. But it is bullshit because it's not bigger bones if you're comparing the same build person to the same build person.
Right.
Kids,
Slightly different pelvis shape, perhaps, but I mean, pelvis shapes are very diverse, even within men and women, not just between them. So it's really hard to gauge because generally speaking, most people who do well in sports do well because they have a genetic advantage. Because sport is not inherently fair. But I've just realized that Perps is doing a whole stream next week on all these issues, and we're stealing his thunder. I know it's his stream anyway, but
I'll just say South Park.
No.
I remember there's some line in there. There's this person sounded very peculiar, and they were saying, "Don't be afraid of what. Don't be ashamed of what God made you." They're mocking it, of course.
I'm not. I'm perfectly proud to be a transgender person.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the right response. Yep, I love it.
Now, if for those of you in chat who don't know me, before I transitioned, okay, I could do a deadlift of almost 400 pounds.
Doorknob head. Sorry.
Today, after the time that I've been on hormones all this time, I can't even do 100 pounds.
I still deadlift. I still deadlift.
I used to do that. I got to get
What's
that.
100 pounds, Jen?
Pardon?
I was just going to
What's
say,
that,
well,
Bert?
100 pounds is about 60 kilos, isn't it?
Yeah, roughly.
I used to do it.
No,
And a deadlift is from the floor up, isn't it?
100 pounds would be 100 pounds. 2.2 pounds. That would be more like 40, wouldn't it? 40, 45.
Oh, because there's 2.2 pounds to kilo. Yeah, no, you're right. It's less.
So 45 kilograms, 100 pounds.
Got 45 kilos. I can. Deadlift is where you lift it from the floor and up, isn't it?
Yeah, where you just stand with the weight.
Yeah.
You just get erect.
Do you get it above your head, or you just? Do you lift
Oh,
it?
Jenny, you forgot the best part. You start halfway on your knees and then you get erect. You crouch down. You crouch down, get in
Is the
position.
deadlift?
I got to say, that sounds very Catholic.
Is deadlift lifting it above your head, or where they just lift it up to their waist?
No, it's just lifting it up.
You didn't do the bending with the knees?
No, that would.
Okay.
I forget the names of all
There's
of them.
different kinds of deadlifts.
Well, I can.
That's what,
I can-
don't even know if it's.
I can lift 50 kilos on a weight bench.
Oh,
So
okay.
if I'm lying down on a weight bench, I can lift 50 kilos, and that's my limit.
I do Olympic deadlift from the floor. You bend your knees, you pick it up in half crouch. You completely sit up with it, then you put it above your head.
On
I used
how
to-
much weight?
That's a clean and jerk.
When I was younger, I could grab the
I
bar.
thought you
Jenny,
did,
why did
and
you
then
walk into
cleaned.
that? Why did you? I was hoping somebody else said that. I was hoping I like you, so I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I was hoping somebody else said it.
You
You're
got to
so
correct
smart.
it, though, Jen. You've got to
You are
say
so
that
smart.
it's not a clean and jerk. It's a jerk and clean.
It is a clean and jerk. It's one of my favorite moves.
To clean.
Use a towel for that.
Oh, it's my favorite move. I still do them to this day, though. That's great for your entire body.
I used to be able to, when I was very young, I could grab onto a post and then lift myself completely off the ground, almost be horizontal. I can't today, but
Are you saying you don't grab onto your post anymore there, Randolph?
If
no,
I,
that post belonged to the gym. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think Randolph's saying that he is retired from pole dancing.
No, I never danced.
me too, Randolph. Me too.
I don't. I'm not good at dancing.
I have never been
Jeff.
a dancing fan until recently.
Hi, Jeff.
To see some of
Hey,
the
Jeff.
moves that people can make on poles, it's shocking what these people can do.
It requires a lot of strength, though.
Oh yeah,
Well, yeah,
you have to give it to them. Some of them are quite impressive athletes.
that's kind of the point.
I know
Gymnastics-
someone that
Gymnastics will get you prepped for that. Yeah.
I saw
I know
this photograph of a guy. He was standing. His lower foot was to the outside of the pole. That's the side that his body's on, and his upper foot was to the inside. And he was standing perfectly straight out for 90 degrees out, straight out from the pole.
That's the goal. Yeah.
And it's like, how can you fucking do that?
so.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, how did you even get into that position? You know, it's to do that. It's
Well,
I got
go for-
shushed. Oh,
you
sorry.
can do it. When you start getting to it, you're going slowly. Later on, you can do it faster. But
I got shushed at Circus Soleil because I kept on saying, "What
you'd
the?"
like that.
I got shushed at Circus Soleil because I kept on saying, "What the fuck? How do you do that?" And it wasn't. I wasn't even trying to be rude. I was like, "How the fuck do you do that?" And some guy was like, "Shh." They were very unimpressed with my French.
Seriously,
It's insane.
you
It's
should be
insane.
going slower. Especially when she's lying back and going slower. I won't get.
Well, I
That
would
sounds
never
like
see
somebody
my
who likes to be
bathroom again.
teased.
Doorknob head. To answer doorknob head, the helicopter is an amazing workout. If you can get your hand on your hips and do the helicopter, you're a champion. The
Putting your
helicopter.
hands in the hips was part of the time warp.
You want to do a demonstration for us?
It's not that late, and it's not that kind of stream either. But I now know who the first person on my OnlyFans will be, Randolph. Thank you.
Is that like an updated?
Hey, you be careful. They're making fun
All
of me
right.
on Twitter right now with dead body bags and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
If you're about to start, give me a 5-minute head start to get my AC ears and eyes out of here.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No,
I know you are.
I
I'm
would
giving you a
never-
hard time too.
You know, I respect your AC ears. Absolutely.
Yeah. For me, joking along with it makes it not seem so foreign and alien, because otherwise it feels like a foreign language, if that makes any sense at all.
I always make a joke about doing the helicopter because a long time ago I blacked out at a party and I actually did it in public, and I'm really surprised it's not on the internet. It probably is, but I just
You can
To be fair, Tria, it's been so long for some of us in this chat. We may as well be ace.
So true.
Hard to argue with.
Action ain't the same as attraction, but I understand that dry spells are a thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's not really a fair way to frame it.
No,
Because
it's
you
not,
don't have
especially
them on-
because I have friends who are they know now, they know better, but they were like, I'm not really ace. I've had sex and I like sex and I enjoy it, and I'm like, that's not what it is, honey. Come over here. Come over here. Come here. Like, you've been telling me that you don't have that you've been struggling in your relationships, and let me tell you why.
Oh, doorknob head. If you find it, post it. I have no shame whatsoever. Absolutely no shame whatsoever.
Oh, it's got to be somewhere. I mean,
you'll know it's me because I'm in a room of white guys. Well, not only white guys, but I'm the only person of color in the room, so you'll be able to spot me real quick.
You know what the best thing about being an old person is? Nobody had cameras back when I was a kid.
So what you're saying is you're the only black helicopter.
Very true.
The only.
Were
there any Apaches?
You're gonna get us canceled.
I am. I'm sorry.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it.
Well, it explains how he's going to get to Australia, at least. The black helicopters are the only thing that can get around the edge of the flat Earth disk to get to the bottom side.
I loved Inspector Gadget when I was a kid. If I had Go-Go Gadget pants, I would be gone right now. I loved that show.
What the hell is Go-Go Gadget pants?
You've never seen Inspector Gadget?
I have the Go-Go Gadget pants. Oh, that was when they inflated, wasn't it? No, that was your jacket that did that.
It was just something I made up,
Oh, okay.
But Inspector Gadget was amazing.
I liked Inspector Gadget.
No, exactly. No, I have this.
Made it up, or did you actually get it from Pornhub? No.
Inspector Gadget.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things that's probably already there.
Yeah, probably.
It's kind of like
inspect your gadget.
It's kind of like when
I've heard that Pornhub's got everything. Although apparently Trump's account's been banned, so they don't have everything anymore.
Yeah, but it's kind of like what it was Kepler 220b a couple years ago when they said, "Oh, we found this planet." No, it's always been there. We just happen to be looking at it at a proper time where we can see it. So it probably is there. You know, there's always something on Pornhub. If you can think of it, it's probably on there, you know?
Yeah, there's porn for just about everything you can imagine.
Yep.
Oh, we had this conversation just the other day. Are we going to start that conversation over again? It always ends with furries. Let me just end it now. Furries.
There is planet fucking porn.
Oh, that's where you were going.
Seriously,
Okay.
No,
there
that's where it always
is
ends.
there is porn of animated planets screwing each other.
You know, I'm going to look it up right now, right? Like, quite
You know
literally
what?
right now. Right now.
Flush Gordon.
That's not surprising to me at all.
Okay, back to something wholesome.
There you go. Aww.
Back to you,
Aw.
Florf.
There's a cat
Kitty.
enjoying the sun.
Baby.
Don't you have any
Pretty
flesh
baby.
gardens?
Oh, your topic is make up your own holiday. So, did you get a lot of holidays?
We had a couple of them in the beginning. That's where we started.
I
Right?
tried. I
I made
tried.
up an annual holiday or celebration quite a number of years ago, in response to a theist jokingly saying that we probably celebrate it or something. I call it Atheist Appreciation Day, and falls on October 5th. So
Yep. I had put the link of it in the side chat, but the conversation kept going at the
Yeah.
time, so I didn't get a
I
chance to
didn't want
point
to
it out.
Didn't want to
But-
interrupt it, but since we're going to more
Yep.
wholesome stuff, I thought there's a good segue.
There it is again in the side chat, so everybody can check out the webpage you created for that.
Oh yeah, it has a countdown timer on it. It's very small, but
So planet sex exists, and all I can say is wow. Something
Planet-
new that I can say. Oh, that's disgusting, and I'll look at it later. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Oh, look at the floof.
How can the planet sex even be a surprise to you that they had them about wanting to put something up Uranus?
Yeah.
You know, I thought I had been around the block, rode hard, and put up wet, and then I discovered the internet. And there,
Well, I mean, they always want. Titan always wants to explore the ring of Saturn.
there's
My
all
teacher's
kinds of
always-
stuff.
my
Oh, go
teachers
ahead.
always pronounced it Uranus, and kids made fun of it in a different way than you guys are making fun of it.
All I know is that whoever named that planet was thinking good that day.
I wonder if it might
No matter how
come
you
from a different
pronounce it,
language.
King George's planet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Uranus comes from the Greek, I think. That,
Okay, yeah.
You know, it may have been named by a Greek astronomer who had first predicted where it should be.
So it's a cross-language pun.
Yep.
It's a multi-language pun. Yeah.
He just thought that particular.
Well, it was originally called King George's planet, so
Oh, was it?
He just thought that
Yeah.
planet should go Greek.
What happened to King George divorce?
was it Linnaeus who calculated where it was going to be? Geez, my brain's not fully functional.
What happened? How come the name changed? Did King George file for divorce or something?
Because even though it was calculated by one of them one mathematician where it was supposed to be, he's not the one who actually found it. But he tried to name it because he calculated where it should be.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You want to.
So he was, and there was a big fight about it because the person who actually spotted it was like, "Well, no, I should name it because I'm the first one to actually see it."
Which is
So,
traditional. Yeah.
which is traditional, and the international fraternity at the time said, "But we're not going to do either of those. We're going to decide on our own
Yep.
name," and that was how it was named.
Uranus was the ancient Greek god of the sky and father of Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a Greek word.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're trying to pick stuff that fits too.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've named all the major planets after gods apart from our own, so why not stay with it? No, it wasn't Linnaeus. Herschel did the calculations, but he wasn't the one who saw it.
Now, isn't Uranus a gas giant? with methane.
I believe so.
Yes.
So that's a weird coincidence too.
You know, I always come back at the weird part. I always put my headphones on right at the weird part.
No, you're not coming back at the weird part. The whole thing's been weird all along.
I was going to say, you're
Yeah.
assuming there's some parts that aren't weird.
Well, I'm weird because I consider all of you normal.
You do? When?
You know, using that N-word in here can get you booted from the stream.
Did you? Don't use the word normal around me.
No. Yeah.
For that. Oh, I busted a seam on that one. That was hilarious.
Yeah, you're just stepping in the cold part of an Arctic stream.
Yeah, sorry, it was Herschel.
Well, it'd be
who,
worse stepping into the warm part of it, actually. Oh.
Well, kids, I'm gonna get going here.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that if we should probably about wrap up now, and if everybody shills out, we'll be at about the 3-hour mark. So, okay, Jenny, did you have any appearances coming up this week you wanted to promote?
No, apparently won't be any movie night tomorrow night. Still having technical problems, as in they don't have any internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a shame.
Our host.
Yeah, Jessica said that they have still not gotten the internet equipment delivered to her. It sounds like she's having to set up like some kind of a satellite system for where she's at.
you know I have now figured out that I've reached my point of smoking because that was scary at first.
What was scary? The cat?
The cat. I have a giant screen, and I looked up, and I was like, "Oh, smoked too much tonight."
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, and isn't everybody happy that you're not the captain of that ship in the Suez Canal?
Oh, that was.
There's a Twitter account for the digging machine. It's like, wow.
I laughed for 20 minutes at that picture.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and when I saw that one digging machine out there, you know, the way that ship dwarfs it, it's like, why did they only send one?
That might be the only machine they have.
exactly.
Operate them in the
Exactly.
water.
That's all they got.
They can only reach one from one spot.
Yeah.
So,
And
I'm
how do you
surprised
get
that they
how
don't
do you
have
get
some
one bigger?
tugboats there that could pull it off.
they got to get them. Well, yeah.
There's been a lot of tugging on this stream.
That guy's so fired, though. That guy,
Yeah.
if I was that guy's boss, I'd be like, "You're so effing fired.
How
You
did-
know
how
that,
did-
right?"
How did it allegedly get cocked like that to begin with?
Why would you ever want to turn around?
Well, from the bits I've heard, it basically was just
Oh.
bad piloting.
Oh,
That whoever was in control of it started to turn when they weren't supposed to.
why?
Jesus.
Or, you know, more likely that, you know, like nobody was holding on to the wheel or something and it started to drift.
See what happens here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. There in the ports, and I understand a lot of ports apparently do this. They have specialists within the ports here who work here locally. When the big ships come in, they take over driving the ships,
A pilot.
steering the ships, because they know the lay of the land here, so it's safer that way.
Yeah, I know that's common in a lot of the American ports too.
Yep.
They do it in Long Beach, California. I've seen it.
You get less collisions and problems this way.
Yeah, well, and mostly if there's anything just below the surface of the water, like sandbars or anything, that the ships, you know, might get hung up on them if they don't know that they're there.
Yeah. So you got, and then, you know, they've been on a long trip anyway. They're probably happy to have the break. It's less stress for them, right? So, yeah.
So I'm wondering what would happen if they would like connect with big ass cables like 100 tanks from the army.
I was thinking
people were
that
talking
from the
about big
other
ropes.
end.
Yeah.
that would be awesome. It looked like Gulliver's Travels. It would be
Somebody
awesome.
made a meme. They took a picture of the ship and they stuck it on the golf cart or whatever it was that Austin Powers was stuck between the walls trying to get up.
There is a good meme out on it already. I'm going to send it to Perp real quick.
You can look at some cats stacking dice here in a moment if you want to share the video, Purple.
Yeah, the screen keeps moving around.
Is that real?
Yep. Yeah.
I can't imagine you'd get a cat to hold still like that.
Or give a shit that long.
I had calm cats like this. I probably could have done something like this if I practiced it. I bet this person's tried it multiple times and finally got it to work once.
Yeah.
And shared this. Yeah.
Well,
But-
I'm sure that's, with most of these spectacular internet videos, I always wonder how many dozens of times did they try to film this before they got it to work.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of times.
That's not worth it. This is a neat video though. This cat is sitting quite still. The cat seems interested in what's going on.
The cat's concentrating. That's crazy.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say
It
that cat
depends
is
on if you
constant.
find. It depends on if you find the what's the word? Recommendations for them. The only thing that overrides Albert's lack of food and snuggling is the fact that he might be able to plan it. Is literally the thing that overrides and is motivated. Thinks he can get out of the house. He won't come for food or petals or anything. If you remove that, pretty to have many tricks. Like I can get him to jump through hoops, I can get him to turn around, I can get him in this ball.
Yeah, Tria, you're roboting really bad now.
Yeah, I
And yeah,
was worried it was my internet for a second there, but
It was
She was
like,
having that problem earlier too.
junk shopping badly.
Yeah, for a while there, I could just make out what she was saying, and it's kept deteriorating.
hey,
oh, it was
Perp,
tripping
I
me out
sent
with
you
this
that
cat
meme.
dice.
Perp, I sent you that meme on Mid America chat.
Oh, Jenny, you got me going with that ship. I forgot about that ship. Oh, I would fly there just to fire that guy and tell him to walk home. And like, get out of here. You're so canned.
Well, what's the reason that it got stuck like that?
Let's look that up. Let's ask.
Purple is saying that
Did they actually
it's
find
because he
out,
tried to
or-
make the turn too early.
Okay.
But I
There's-
don't I've heard.
It doesn't look like there's anywhere to turn over there.
That was pretty much speculation. I don't, know if there's anything official on it.
The question
Well,
is,
I
I'm
think
gonna try
It'd be
it.
best to wait for something official
Yeah.
before coming to some kind of conclusion. Because maybe there was something in the water, something had come apart and they weren't expecting it, or whatever, right? So
okay, so to be fair, that will be able to dig it out. It would be nice if they had like 15 of them, but that has a full extender arm on it and everything. So that will eventually be able to dig that ship
now,
out.
if this digger is privately owned, they're gonna make big bucks right now.
Yeah.
God damn.
Oh
I love
my
the Twitter
gosh.
account for
They are
this
so
machine.
fun.
It's hilarious. All
Here's
these
the-
lovely pictures up.
Oh man.
Oh, I would
Mm.
be screaming and spitting. You're fired. You're fired.
I
The guy
wonder how
knows
deep-
he's fired.
I wonder how deep it is. One of the tools that they use in like rescue and stuff like that is an airbag, because you can blow them up and they can do amazing things like open car doors and lift up cars and shit like that. I wonder if they could get an airbag together big enough to stuff under the bow and just, pump it up and lift it out a little bit. Nah.
Well, it's a container ship, so yeah, I actually was wondering if they wouldn't at some point wind up trying to unload some of the containers to reduce the weight and float it a little higher.
Oh, I think it's got 500 containers on it. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Just on the front.
Have you seen the rig they need to unload those containers?
I've seen this one.
They are fucked. They're just fucked. Dig a new canal.
Yeah, build a backup canal in parallel with it, just in case.
Oh, God.
And then watch 2 ships get stuck at the same time in different canals. Of course, that's going to happen.
You realize this is the easiest way to get to 1 million subs. You do know this, right? It's cat videos.
Cats are always on top of it.
Theo was saying on that last one there were too many paws. I wonder if he's saying that he saw something in there that looked faked.
This cat's got the perfect jump here.
And the cocky, the cat's literally saying "fuck you" right there, just like "f you." F you and your gate.
I think this cat's kind of enjoying the ride down a little bit too.
The cat's standing there and he's saying, "This is why they call it a dog gate."
Yeah. Well, and just that he lands up there on his back feet, it's like he doesn't even bother trying to use the front feet to pull him up.
And that's an old rule. Like, you don't talk trash until you win. Like, that cat won, and that's a cocky walk right there.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Actually, it looks like the cat's just tapping the top of the gate with its front paws, just briefly there.
Yeah, but he's like, this thing could be half again as tall, wouldn't be any problem.
But that's just a minor adjustment at the end, I think. So, yeah.
If that cat
is so fun to watch.
If I see another video of that cat doing the Fosbury flop, then I know that cat is just like posing at that point.
This video makes me feel like, never mind. I won't say it. Never mind.
It's okay. Like, yeah, that happened. What?
Yeah.
Well, you'll get lots of views with it. You'll get lots of views for this one, Perks, because nothing quite brings the views as some pussy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Randall, you'll have to put that one in the Twitter group so that Sloth Girl can see it when she gets up tomorrow.
Oh, sure.
That inspires an interesting question. Is the word pussy in the algorithm? Is it or what's the algorithm for that word? Is it one that's gonna draw views, or is it one that's gonna get you banned?
I think it's context and how many times you say it, but on the other side, I was on a stream with a particular chair, let's say, and their stream got shut. Actually, 2 streams I was on with a stool, and they were shut down. So it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. He was trying to get shut down, though.
Can I just say that, Will? Let's be clear here. This is stool we're talking about. It's a rarity when YouTube don't take one of his streams down.
This is crazy.
I do want to say something. I don't think I would be very surprised I don't think nuance comes into YouTube's algorithms at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I sometimes question when they say they've done this manual review whether they've actually done it or not.
Oh, I can tell you most definitely that a lot of times they claim they do a manual review and they have not. That no human being has ever looked at it.
Oh, definitely not.
They deleted my channel twice before I posted my first video, and I kept trying to challenge it, and I can guarantee you from the letters I got, they were all form letters sent by bots. No human being ever looked at it. They never gave me any reason why.
Wow.
Twitter do the same shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird. And I feel but this was also like a year ago. If
Okay.
not, so maybe things have changed. I don't know, or gotten worse.
That is not a cat. To climb a vertical wall like that, that's an Ornos.
Ornis?
Yep. The Ornos are the scouts from the Galactic Alliance. They come here disguised as cats so they can observe us and decide when we're ready for open contact.
So in LA, those lasers are illegal because people started shining them in helicopters
And airplanes.
And if you shine it into a helicopter, it literally goes into a million beams on the instruments, and helicopters have crashed. And so
there's been some planes that have been taken down by people pointing lasers into them too, right?
Oh yeah.
I can see that, just with the curved glass of the canopy, that it would refract in random directions.
Yeah, you go to it's they're illegal. They're like highly illegal here now. Because we had such a problem with people trying to bring down so there were certain neighborhoods the helicopters wouldn't go into because people would just walk out with lasers. I thought it was like they used to sell them at the 99-cent store. It was hilarious how people could bring down a fleet of helicopters with lasers.
Oh, lasers!
I didn't know they had made them illegal anywhere. Because you can buy them at any pet store here.
You should look it up on YouTube. There's if you look at like KCAL 9 or CBS 2, there's footage of somebody in a helicopter and you see the beam come in. It's crazy and it's so amplified.
Yeah,
and it's one of those. It's just the same beam like that.
Well, if you're saying it, and that I'll bet then if we go and look it up, that there's now FAA regulations that you can't use them within a certain distance of an airport.
Yeah. It was the craziest thing. It was like one year everyone decided to be an a-hole and shine lasers at helicopters.
See, here they just kind of updated the regulations that if you shine this into something, you're going to jail. That's it.
Yeah.
They're not banning the lasers here. So,
hey,
they don't listen well.
I meant to ask Randolph, if I give you a bunch of money, would you order an illegal laser for me? And
they're not illegal here, sure.
Right, but they are here, so
you could actually order them probably from Amazon.ca yourself directly, and they'll ship it all the way from Canada.
No, you can't.
Oh, they won't do that, huh?
They get seized. Yes.
So
ordered. Wow.
They even do that with certain patches. They stopped selling certain patches in America. Like my FU, I have enough friends. They don't. They stopped selling it on Amazon.
What is it?
It says "fuck you." I have enough friends. It's a patch.
Okay.
And I was told they were taking it off of Amazon, and I thought they were joking, so I went and bought a few, and I can't find them.
Yeah, this is probably the case. It's probably ones with a certain power rating. Because the ones that you buy for cat toys or office pointers.
Well, it's like those Kinder Surprise eggs got banished in the U.S. because apparently people were swallowing them whole and choking on them.
I don't think that ever actually happened. I think it was just because of USDA regulations.
It's just one of those. It
that
might
they weren't
happen
allowed to put the toy inside the candy.
I'm thinking who would be stupid? Like, isn't that a stupid thing to do to swallow a chocolate egg? Like,
to be fair, in America, we live in constant fear of everything.
But not stupidity, apparently. Nobody's afraid of stupidity because they got guns, right?
Randolph, you've been around on the internet long enough to know now that there are people that would be stupid enough to swallow an egg like that whole.
Yeah,
you should know that by now.
It's a matter. It's not a matter of knowing. It's a matter of it's not a matter of not knowing. It's a matter of not wanting to believe it.
Yeah, an awful lot of the consumer laws in the U.S. are because people are too stupid that they have to, blatantly print things on packages because they can't assume anyone would be smart enough to do it themselves.
I once had a product.
Do not eat on the silicone packages.
I once had a product that was like can about this tall, and it was a aerosol, and it was a fire extinguisher. You know, that you could buy for a couple of bucks. You have a fire extinguisher. Very limited use, but you still got one. And on the back of the can, it was giving warnings and stuff, and it said, "Do not use, do not have near fire."
Wasn't there?
I've seen hair dryers with "Please do not operate in the shower" on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that here.
I mean, wasn't there a case like years ago? It must be years ago now, but wasn't there actually like a case of a woman who sued the manufacturers of a microwave because it didn't warn her that she shouldn't put her pet cat in the microwave to dry it off.
Oh my God!
When, you know, you think common fucking sense would tell you that is going to kill the poor animal.
No, there are
Holy shit.
There's some people who slip through the cracks that need help.
So
there are some people.
You kind of wonder though, would it have made any difference if there'd been a written warning, because somebody that stupid probably can't read?
Yeah.
So those written warnings, I know why they're there, because I have a client many years ago who manufactured a product, and when they put it in the U.S. market, their insurance company said, "Oh, in the U.S. market, you had to put all these warnings in." They told them exactly what to write in. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't. The whole list of things they put in the instructions and put labels on for certain things, because it's all about is if somebody sues, then because they did that with it, they can turn around and say, "Well, the manual told you not to do this. You're not following the instructions," and then they have a stronger case.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
I
real reason why you've got a lot of these warning things, though, and regulations is the
lawyers and insurance companies.
Yeah, lawyers and insurance companies. And it, you know, I mean, America's always been a little bit of a sue-happy nation, and I think Britain has gone very much the same way. I mean, like I've watched in the last sort of 15, 20 years just the absolute growth of like the ambulance chasing industry. You know, these you know,
I live in California. This is the land of lawyers.
Well, and what happened?
I'm more scared of being sued than getting in a fist fight. I would rather get in a fist fight than be sued.
So for a lot of the big companies, they get people will sue, and they'll settle for $5,000, and because they know full well it'll cost the company at least $10,000 to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So companies will usually just pay out the settlement instead.
Yeah, if they pay someone a couple $1,000s, it's cheaper than paying the lawyer.
It's different in Canada because these can get determined to be vexatious lawsuits a lot more easily, and so this kind of thing, like the case has to have some kind of merit, or the judge won't even look at it.
Yeah,
exactly. We've got different steps in place for this kind of thing here.
We call those anti-slap laws. We have
and what it is in here also, it's reasonable to have the loser pay the legal fees of the person they're suing if it turned out their case turned out to be done. So we don't see these kind of lawsuits here. So
yeah, it's the same in Australia. We don't really get them here either.
Yep.
Well, and that's I think the U.S. needs something like that to make it easier for a judge to just dismiss a case as not having merit.
And then there are still people here who will sue for all kinds of reasons and make up and fabricate things. And I know of one scenario where the guy doing tons of lawsuits and crazy stuff that just didn't even make any sense finally got listed as a vexatious litigant. And so what if he wants to sue anybody now? What he has to do is he has to put down a deposit of $2,000, and then the judge will evaluate his lawsuit and determine if he can proceed with the lawsuit. And if he can't, he loses his $2,000. If he can, he gets his $2,000 back as long as he does proceed with the lawsuit. So our system is set up in a good way with this. So the guy's still proceeding with lawsuits, but it's stopping with the judge because the judge different judge he sees each time keeps saying no. And he keeps losing $2,000. So.
All right, I'm going to kick off, you guys.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, we were supposed to be wrapping up here. So
last cat video.
Oh, one more kitty.
Okay, one more kitty.
It's like, yep, that's just how I planned it.
That's an efficiency-minded cat.
Right?
Yeah, it's funny when I was a kid and the family cats would do something and they'd bump into a wall or something, and then my dad and I were laughing, and then the cat would look at us and give us a dirty look, like, "What are you laughing at?"
I remember. Good night, good night, Jenny.
Trio's got a real moneymaker here. Yeah. If for a whole day everyone had to pay you a quarter every time they mention sex in our society.
Oh, you'd be a millionaire.
That's why nobody's paying that.
To be honest, if
I'd be very poor if I had to pay everybody.
What's that?
I'd be very happy if I got paid a quarter for like every time it's mentioned on a live stream that I'm on, because I would be minted.
Oh,
you would.
Even more money. You'd be an oligarch.
Maybe
I'd be happy if I got paid $1 every time I mentioned it on a stream.
maybe we could do that as a fundraiser sometime. That we'd have to keep track of it, and every time somebody swears or mentions sex on the live stream, they have to donate $1 to the cause.
You need to get one of those South Park counters like they did in the curse words episode.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, back to doing the wrap up here. Randall, you got something coming up you want to?
Oh, yes. I'm going to be in a debate on Modern Day Debate on March 27th. And it will be, I'll just get the time here for you real quick.
Well, if you post something in the side chat there, I'll make sure that you're modded so you could put your links in there.
Oh, yeah. So it's 5 p.m. at Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. The debate topic is going to be, is atheism the rational conclusion of skepticism? I'm going to be arguing in the affirmative, and my interlocutor will be a Christian apologist named John Maddox, who is, of course, has, I think, the opposite opinion on that. And so it'll be, I think it'll be interesting. I think he's going to have a harder time denying that, because I believe I've got a good explanation for this that does make sense. So we'll see where it goes, though. I'm also promoting a campaign to normalize atheism, and there's a website for that and a hashtag normalize atheism. The website is normalizeatheism.ca. The idea is that, if a religious person tells people they're religious, they're typically accepted, like, okay, whatever, and that's fine. But when an atheist says, like I do, I don't believe in any deities, sometimes the response is quite condescending, or it's mean, or it's shock and surprise and whatnot. Yeah. So what we're asking for by promoting this campaign is a very non-confrontational and gentle approach to this, to say, look, we just want to be treated the same as the theists. So when somebody asks us and we say we don't believe in deities, that's accepted as normal, instead of shock and surprise and condescension. So we're just asking for equal treatment, and I think this is very much a reasonable thing to ask for, and that's part of one of the campaigns that we're promoting with Canadian Atheists. You can find out more about Canadian Atheists at www.canadianatheists.ca. Also, I've been working on the building of the studio for the True North Talk call-in program in the near future, which will be an atheism call-in program hosted by Neil the 604 Atheist and myself once the studio's up and running. So I'm hoping that I can make faster progress now, because I'm at kind of a bit of an easier stage at the moment. So looking forward to that. And there's some videos linked from the YouTube channel from the website at www.truenorthtalk.ca. Thank you very much for having us on the stream, and I'm glad people enjoyed the cat videos. And I'll walk over there and show some framing we've got for the window. In the meantime, somebody else can talk. Who's next? Go ahead. You don't have to wait for me. It's going to take me a moment to get over there.
I'm trying to be nice because I talk all the time.
Okay.
So yeah, I put the link. I didn't get to put it into the public chat because I'm not in the public YouTube video chat.
Oh, okay.
But let me see if somebody else pops in. That'd be great.
Yeah. Okay, I can.
Okay. This is the latest that we've got up, and you can see the framing above the header and below. This is for the window in the south, right next to the west wall here. So it's going to be a fairly large studio. It's a little hard to see right now because it's dark, but
No, it's
there we go.
That's awesome.
So we've got a nice big space to work with, which is great. So yeah, so that's to build this. There's quite a lot to do, some extra framing and whatnot that needs to be done to make sure it's nice and solid and reliable. So because windows are kind of heavy.
Okay, Doc, you got anything?
Nope. I just hang out.
It's always good to see you here, Doc.
You're awesome, Doc.
Jeff, what you got coming up on your show?
I'm trying to think. Most of what I'm doing is I'm going to be on other people's channels. I think over the next few days, I might possibly stream tomorrow afternoon. Just have a hangout series about, but I don't know. On Sunday, I've got done the Asterisk streams with Noodle, but it's one we're kind of opening up to other people if they want to come on as well. So we're going to do that for a couple of hours, and then I've got this very unique Dungeons and Dragons stream on One Ring's channel, and the premise of the game is that it's going to be myself, Sam Chaos, ex-Cult Baby, and I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. We are going to be a party of tax inspectors going into a certain place called Dinosaur Adventureland.
Are you going to be wearing colorful T-shirts?
Yeah, well, this is what I do wonder where, because it obviously rings the dungeon master. I do wonder if we're going to get attacked by one of Kent's Hawaiian shirts or something. I don't want to go off on a tangent. He sort of recently exposed himself as a racist arsehole as well. So recently, so yeah. So that could be. I thought it was an interesting premise for a D&D game, and I think because Ring and I have both been trying to get blocked by Pastor Greg Locke with little success for the past few months. We're okay. So we're setting ourselves. So let's set ourselves another goal of can we get ourselves onto Whack an Atheist? You know, that would be a crowning achievement for me.
You just have to have a stream and say his name a bunch. And say really awful things about him.
I've done that. It doesn't make any difference. You've got to be a big name out.
Or British. He doesn't seem to like so I've got a chance because he doesn't like the British YouTubers because he's his favourite targets. His favourite targets seem to have been Conspiracy Cats, Simon Dan, and Rachel Oates over the past couple of years. So he doesn't seem to like us Brits for some reason.
Heat Shield's asking about the racist remark there.
Oh, okay. There's I think Hemet Meta actually shared on his Twitter. He had this thing where she was obviously a Christian, but some Navajo lady came in, sat down, and she said, "Oh, I'm Navajo," and he made some remark about, "Oh, you're not going to scalp me, are you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, you fucking arsehole.
He's
he's an asshole.
Yeah, and shows he doesn't even know history.
No.
The Native Americans did not make a habit of scalping. That was the French idea, because the French offered to pay a bounty on English settlers, but to prove it, they had to bring in the scalp. So the Native Americans never did that until the French and English started arguing about land over here.
Oh, interesting.
History's funny that way.
Okay. Will, what have you got going on?
A bunch of stuff. Eventually, Sam Chaos, Maddie, and myself, we're doing a wow, I really have smoked too much. We're doing a podcast. It's called An Atheist, a Christian, and a Pagan Walk into a Bar, Pub Religion. And that should be coming out soon. Every Thursday, we do the What the Fuck stream. I was going to release a video tomorrow, but I'm probably not because I changed my mind. So if you're angry and you make something, you should always put it on hold. So I'm going to put that video. I'm going to put it on the shelf for a while. So I'm going to be making a new one, and I'll be releasing that soon. And that's all I could think of right now.
Okay, Jen, you have anything to add?
No, not overly. I will answer your earlier question. No, there wasn't anything up. I was just being a smartass to what you were talking about in chat when I said I needed help. But if I am talking about help, there is still my fundraiser. So.
Yep. And the link for that is at the top of the description for this.
Oh, okay. It's also in the chat because I just put it there.
Oh, okay. I was just about to copy it. Okay, and something
There's
that
still
has...
that, and there will be a special What the Fuck show for Easter that was going to be part of the fundraising sort of thing.
Okay.
And there'll be a new intro for it, so that should be interesting.
I'm laughing because I kind of know what it is.
Yep. Okay, and not to compete on the fundraisers, but something that just got posted to Twitter in the last hour is if people are familiar with the situation that Owen, the Telltale Atheist, is going through with his daughter in the schools.
Yeah. No, I haven't heard of this.
I haven't heard of that either.
His daughter recorded their health teacher basically telling the kids that, you know, they shouldn't have sex before marriage because it upsets God and things like this.
That's not appropriate.
But yeah, and apparently it turns out that this teacher has had like a 15-year history of doing things like this, and the school still has her on. But yeah, now it's like the whole town has been harassing them. There were people who were doing a protest at his daughter's bus stop one morning for her to go to school. They had created a Facebook page just for the purpose of doxing them, that they were printing on the Facebook page, you know, not just their address and pictures of their house, but, you know, saying what times of day they weren't home or when they didn't have their shades drawn.
That's what the invasion of their privacy.
Yeah, well, the Facebook page apparently got taken down, but still, it just shows you the extent that the people in this area, are upset with them for challenging this teacher in the school.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
disgusting.
Anyway, somebody has set up a GoFundMe to help Owen and his daughter, so I'll throw the link for that out there.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a pretty sour note to end on, but it was important to bring that up if people weren't aware of it.
Neil was writing just last night that on Twitter that his mom is in the hospital on machines because she's got some problem with her kidneys.
Oh yeah, she's she's in the IC.
ICU, yeah.
I saw that.
Intensive care unit, yeah. Yeah, I hope she pulls through. Better than everyone's expecting.
From what I got, it's sounding like they'll know one way or the other in a couple of days.
Yeah.
That either she's going to make it or it's going to be the end for her.
Yeah. I met her once. She's a very nice lady. Yeah. Very, very pleasant. Very, very kind.
Well, and Neil's just been great to everyone. So,
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, if there's anything we can do to support him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, but with that, yeah. Well, now we're 3 hours and 20 minutes here, so we're going to wrap it up here for the night.
Hey, thanks for hosting this. This is always fun.
Yep. Thanks everybody for coming. Thank you to everyone on the panel and everyone in the side chat. And again, I would like to thank my patrons, the people who are sending money on Patreon to help support my channel. Vonrick, Junie the Apostate, Ox, Robert X, Mikey Famine, the Lavender Lady, and Greg Hartwick. So I will be trying to get more on the channel for content besides just the live chats. Get back into doing some edited videos again.
Oh, good. Good.
But yeah, no promises on any delivery dates here.
Okay.
So, okay, thank you everyone, and good night.
Thanks.